Live from George Sparky Anderson Field on the campus of California Lutheran University, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for championship baseball. The visiting Arroyo Seco Saints, they came away with a 12-7 victory over the Orange County Riptide in the, I would say, the preliminary playoff game that was held yesterday at this very field. So they earned the right to play the Foresters, who won the league in regular season, now in this championship game in a one-game winner-takes-all for the CCL Southern California Championship. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Berner, sitting alongside Jack Steele and Nicolette Rojo, and we are extremely thrilled to be here. This is the very first CCL playoff appearance for the Saints organization in general, and now it is the very first CCL championship game appearance for the Arroyo Seco Saints. So without further ado, let's throw it over to Nicolette Rojo for the Saints starting lineup.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. As you mentioned, history has already been made here as we come into today's action for the championship game, CCL action. Number 2 is leading off Anthony Forte, the right fielder. Number 20, Morgan Allen, second base. Number 21, Drew Cowley, the shortstop. Number 15, Thomas Lovano, a designated hitter. Number 32, Pete Durkay, the first baseman. Number 16, Jason Gonzalez, third baseman. Number 8, Evan Russell, the birthday boy today, turning 21, left field. Number 33, Thomas McCarthy, catcher. And number 12, Christian Scott, the center fielder.
And that lineup will be facing off against Ryan Burgert on the mound for the Foresters. One of the last time the Saints played against the Foresters, Burgert got the start. He went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs. Both of them were earned on 5 hits. We're going to see if he's going to be able to calm down this Saints offense, which put up 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Anthony Forte swings through the first pitch of the game, and it's already an 0-1 count. Forte led things off for the Saints yesterday. Finished 2 for 5. He had 5 RBI on 2 doubles, and he came around to score both times he got on base.
Yeah, Forte was a big part of the Saints offense yesterday. Like you said, 5 RBIs of those 12 runs.
And another huge thing that came into play for the Saints as Forte swings through the 0-1 and count moves to 0-2. The Saints racked up 7 unearned runs. So had the Riptide played clean defense all game long, the Riptide would have won that one 7-5. Regardless, after 8 innings, it was called because of sunlight as Forte fouls off the 0-2. The game was called due to lack of sunlight, I should say, because there's no lights here at George Anderson Field.
And that's something we hope the sun stays up for the whole 9 innings.
Yeah, it was a nice and long 8-inning game. The 0-2 fouled straight back into the screen, messes with our camera a little bit, but the count remains 0-2.
Forte has been good behind the count all season long, as we mentioned. Had a killer wild card game yesterday. Let's see if he keeps it up this afternoon.
The 0-2 misses high and outside for ball 1. And Forte, after fouling off 2 straight pitches, watches one miss the zone. So now Burgert with the 1-2. Breaking ball, misses high and outside, ball 2. Counts all even.
And good idea there to go with the breaking ball. Just didn't have enough drop. Wasn't able to fall into the strike zone.
The 2-2. This one's popped foul and out of play, and Forte, refusing to go down without a fight, stays alive. He'll earn himself another pitch.
And that's what you do.
Sorry, go ahead,
Oh, sorry. And that's what you do during the championship game. Go big or go home with all the marbles.
Once again, the 2-2, chopper over towards second base, fielded cleanly by Cash. He'll toss over to first in time to retire the speedy Forte, and that's out number 1. So now real quickly, we're going to take a look at the defensive alignment for the Santa Barbara Foresters. On the mound, we mentioned Burgert. He's pitching to Zach Presno. Then it's Quentin Silma at first base, Cash at second base, Tevin Tucker at shortstop, Nick Bellafronto at third. And it's Kennedy in left, Christian Franklin in center field, and Blake Hall in right field. So now coming to the plate, Morgan Allen, the second baseman. He'll get his first at-bat of the game. First pitch he sees. Misses a little bit inside. Breaking ball to start him off. And it counts 1-0.
And something to note about this Saints lineup, I mean, the lineup you see today is the exact same lineup they had yesterday.
The 1-0 smack deep center field. Tracking back is Franklin, gets underneath it, and he makes the easy play for out number 2.
But back to what I was saying, I mean, the Saints literally are using the same lineup they had yesterday. And, I mean, it's understandable. You're in the playoffs. You want to use the best players with the best lineup you can put together, and that's what they're doing.
Well, you got to stick to what works, especially after such a big offensive performance yesterday, as the first pitch to Callie's fouled straight back. So the count moves to 0-1. Now the 0-1 from Bergert. Finds the low outside part of the zone, and quickly it's an 0-2 count on the shortstop for the Saints. Bergert wasting no time. The 0-2 swung on, tipped, but ends up in the glove of Zach Presno, and Cowley goes down swinging. So a 1-2-3 top half of the first inning. We'll head to the home half, see if the Foresters can strike first. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for that. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the bottom half of the first inning. Saints failed to score. They went down in order in the top half of the inning. Now, real quickly before the first pitch is thrown, let's throw it over to Jack Steele for the starting lineup for the Foresters.
Leading things off for the Foresters, and at the plate right now is the left fielder Eric Kennedy. Batting second, Nick Bellafronto. Batting third, center fielder Christian Franklin. In the cleanup spot is the catcher Zach Presno. Batting fifth and batting as the designated hitter is Ross Cadena. Batting sixth, right fielder Blake Hall. In the seventh spot, first baseman Quinton Selma. Batting eighth, Tevin Tucker. And rounding things out for the Foresters, the second baseman Ryan Cash.
So the first two pitches from Beer missed, and then the 2-0 fouled straight back into the screen as the count moves to 2-1. Trevor Beer on the mound for the Saints. Saints wearing that dark blue jersey, white insignia and gold numbers with gray pants and those blue stirrups. As the 2-1 is taken, breaking ball right on the inside corner for strike 2, and the count is even. The Foresters, they're in those red jerseys that say Stirs on the front, blue writing and numbers. As the 2-2's chopped at, rolled over towards second base, Allen charging forward, makes the throw over the head of Durkee into the Foresters' dugout. And not only getting first base, but awarded second base as Eric Kennedy as the leadoff man is aboard.
And that's a tough play for Morgan Allen to make. He had to come in to get that slow chopper and then kind of had to throw on the run off balance and was unable to make an accurate throw due to that off balance throw.
And like you said, that's a tough play. Kennedy just kind of threw the bat through the zone. Made contact, and with the backspin on the ball, it made it so that Allen had to charge forward, throw against his body, like you said, and just wasn't able to get the job done. So leadoff man standing aboard on second base, Nick Bellafronto at the plate. He watches the first one miss for ball 1. Belafronto getting the start at third base for the Foresters today. The redshirt senior. The 1-0, chopped down the right field line. Forte chasing after it. This one's up and off the wall. Rounding third and coming home to score, that's Kennedy. And pulling up into second base with a stand-up RBI double is Nick Belafronto as the Foresters take the lead 1-0.
That's just a good piece of hitting right there from Belafronto, as he's continued to show his constant success against the Saints. And that one, with the little bit of help of the wind, the right-handed lefty matchup, that ball's gonna go right down the right field line, and just out of Forte's reach, and easily scores Kennedy second. Good hitting.
So now Christian Franklin, the center fielder for the Foresters, he watches the first pitch miss low and outside for ball one. You know, like you said, as a right-handed hitter poking it down that right field line, the tail is going to go away from the fielder, and the tail went away from Forte, making it harder to get to that one. That allowed it to drop in, hit the base of the wall as the 1-0 finds the strike zone to Franklin. So Kennedy, who reached on an error to start things off, came around to score on that Belafronto double. Now the 1-1 to Franklin. He check swings. He did not go around as the appeal is called safe. So the count moves to 2-1.
If you're a Bear, you got to be careful with this batter in Franklin, as he homered twice in their last matchup on Tuesday.
The 2-1, driven deep, right center field. Scott looking up, and it's off the wall. Goes right over his head, and rounding third and coming home to score on back-to-back doubles is Nick Belafronto, and it's 2-0 Foresters.
And well-hit ball there from Franklin. And the Foresters are making a statement here in the bottom of the first, picking up 2 quick runs. And the Saints still haven't gotten an out yet. 3 back-to-back hits for the Foresters. Single, double, and then another double.
So 3 Foresters reaching base in a row. And Presno going up there aggressive, as you'd like to see with this kind of start for the Foresters. Swings and fouls the first one out of play. That Franklin line drive right off the base of the wall over the head of Scott in center field. Not much he could have done. It was hit like a laser. Wasn't able to backtrack in time. He got out there just in time to keep Scott at second. As the 0-1 finds the strike zone, 0-2, keep Franklin at second. So now Presno with an 0-2 count. Beer looking to kind of get his reins out there on the mound, minimize the damage. Foresters played 39 games. They went 30-9. The 0-2 chopped foul out of play, and Presno will stay alive. So Beer still looking for the first out of the game. Saints looking for the first out, I should say, as well. Back-to-back hard hit line drives, and those following the weak chopper towards Allen, which was hard for him to play. Presno fouls off the 0-2 once again. I'm not entirely sure what that hit. It shot right back out onto the field.
It looked like it hit the top of the netting, that little
The metal bar.
metal part, because I heard a thung.
I heard a dong too, but I was looking for a pole holding it up. There's no pole holding up the netting.
That's weird. It might have been that little piece that's holding the net, but I don't know.
Either way, Presno stays alive, and the 0-2 is barely sent backwards off the bat of Presno. He just barely got a piece of it. Breaking ball low and almost in the dirt. So Presno once again finding a way to stay alive. Keep the Foresters' hope of going without an out here in the home half of the first inning alive. The 0-2. Presno fouls this one out of play once again. And this has been a constant theme so far this game. Of course, it's the championship game. Neither team is going to have a guy go up to the plate willing to go down easy. And we've seen some long at-bats, one from Anthony Forte for the Saints, leading things off. Now Presno with a whole lot of foul balls. He goes down swinging just like the last batter of the Saints did, as that's out number 1 in the home half of the first inning. Trevor Beer gets a strikeout and possibly rights the ship here.
And Beer's got to be relieved to get that first out. And good job by Beer to continue to attack the zone. Even though it's an 0-2 count, he still pounded the strike zone and ended up with the strikeout.
So now Ross Cadena comes up to the plate. He's the designated hitter. We've seen him split time with Presno behind the plate. Got the DH roll today, tries laying down a bunt, pops it over towards the Saints dugout, though. It's Race Gardner, a pitcher for the Saints, jogs out there with a couple new baseballs for the umpire. So the count now is 0-1 to Cadena. The Foresters completing that uniform I was describing earlier with those blue socks. Fits in well with the blue hats. Trevor Beer taking his time on the mound. The 0-1, breaking ball. He just hung it outside, though, as the count's even at 1 now. First pitch today was at 4:35 p.m., 85 degrees Fahrenheit here out in Thousand Oaks, California. Beautiful day for baseball as the 1-1 is taken. That one's a little low and inside for ball 2. A fan of Beers in the crowd is letting him know how he feels. Shouts out execute a few times.
It's always nice to have exciting and enthusiastic fans in the stands.
The 2-1 lined right back up the middle, tailing towards right center field. Scott will chase it down, cuts it off, but not before Franklin rounding third and comes home to score. As that's an RBI single off the bat of Ross Cadena, and it's 3-0 Foresters.
Once again, Foresters continuing to be aggressive here in the championship game as that ball, once again, Beer struggling with the command a little bit as those pitches, not bad locations, just but when a ball hangs too much, that gives the batter some time to gather himself and hit it. And this time, once again, Cadena is successful.
That ball just stayed in the zone just a little too long. Now it'll bring up Blake Hall, the right fielder for the Foresters, who watches the first one miss high and outside for ball 1. We saw the starting pitchers yesterday struggle on both ends. Bollinger gave up a few runs, and his counterpart from the Riptide gave up those 5 runs through 2 innings. As the 1-0 is a breaking ball that makes Hall swing through it. Counts even.
And a good job from Beer changing location. Went fastball up for the first pitch and then went breaking ball low. Going to get the eyes moving from Blake Hall at the plate.
The 1-1 swung on and fouled right off the chest of Thomas McCarthy behind the plate for the Saints, so the count moves to 1-2.
And that looked like a replica of the previous pitch. And again, Blake Beer just chasing it, unable to make good contact.
Beer just finished his freshman year at the University of Santa Barbara. University of California, Santa Barbara, I should say, is the 1-2 chopped foul down the third base line. In that season, he made 8 appearances, pitched 3 innings. He has an ERA, a collegiate ERA of 0.00 with 3 strikeouts and a walk to his name. He's probably going to have a much bigger role with the University of California, Santa Barbara this year coming up as the 1-2 chopped foul out of play. So Blake Hall doing a good job fighting off, staying alive. You know, not only does he have a collegiate ERA of 0.00, now I get that's a very small sample size, 3 innings, 8 appearances. He had a sub-1 ERA in his senior year of high school as the 1-2 lined hard foul down the third base line, and we'll do the dance again at 1-2. In his senior season, he had a .8 ERA with an 11-2 record and 137 strikeouts. He was
Wow.
a two-way
Wow.
player, by the way. He hit .381 his senior year. In his junior year, he had a .76 ERA with 101 strikeouts. And, as I mentioned, two-way player, .319 batting average.
Dang.
The 1-2 popped high in the sky. This one will stay in play. It's in foul territory. Durkee tracking back, puts up his glove, and makes the snag for out number 2. So real quickly, let's do a defensive orientation for the Saints. Trevor Beer on the mound, pitching to Thomas McCarthy behind the plate. Pete Durkee at first base, Morgan Allen at second, Drew Cowley at short. Then it's Jason Gonzalez at third base, Evan Russell, the birthday boy, in left field, Christian Scott in center, and Anthony Forte in right field. That'll bring up Quentin Selma, the first baseman for the Foresters. First pitch swing, pops it up, straight up. This one might end up staying in play. It does. McCarthy tracking back, has it pop off the tip of his glove. And Selma gets another chance. I was getting ready to catch that one.
I was
Yeah,
too.
I thought it was going to come over to us, but barely stayed in the ballpark. Unfortunate that McCarthy was unable to catch that one.
I was ready for my moment, my time to shine.
I was too, because last time we called a game against the Oaks, I totally blew my shot.
Yeah, that one landed a couple feet away from Nicolette. I was on the other side of the table trying to reach around her to grab it. Was unsuccessful, though. The 0-1 to Selma, off the tip of the bat, and the count moves to 0-2. I was really excited. I was going to get a chance to show off, you know, all those years that trained me just to catch that one pop-up. But the backspin kept it in the field. It was a tricky backspin. You saw McCarthy struggle with it. 0-2, breaking ball fouled straight back.
Looks like you'll have to wait for your moment.
I've been waiting so long.
Just be patient.
The patient ones always do it.
So it's 0-2 to Quentin Selma after he fouled off the last couple pitches. Delivery, swung on and missed. Beer sits him down swinging. But the Foresters put 3 up on the scoreboard. We'll head to the top half of the second inning. 3-0 to score. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Thomas Lovano to lead things off in the top half of the second inning. The Saints trailing 3-0 in this very early game. Lovano getting the start at designated hitter today. Started in the same position yesterday as the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that finds the strike zone to an emphatic strike call. Lovano reached base 3 times. Only had 1 hit, though. It was a single in the third inning. He got on an error as he fouls this one up and out of play, straight back. Count moves to 0-2. He got on in an error in the first inning, came around to score. And then he walked in the 6th. Those were the only other 2 times he got on, so that rounds out his line to be 1 for 4 yesterday with a walk. He's got an 0-2 count now as he chops this one foul out of play once again. And as I mentioned, it's championship baseball. You don't want to go down easy. We're going to see a whole lot of foul balls. You're going to see a whole lot of guys shorten their swings. The 0-2. Broken bat. Grounder gets through the legs of Bellafronto into left field. And just like in his first at-bat yesterday, Thomas Lovano reaches base to an error by the third baseman. This time it's Nick Bellafronto. I think the broken bat might have distracted Bellafronto a little bit over there. I can't imagine it's easy to stay focused when you see shards flying at you.
Oh, definitely. It seemed like it was a ground ball that Bellafronto definitely should have came up with, but like you said, I think the broken bat had something to do with that misplaced ground ball. So the Saints will take it. I mean, they got their leadoff man on, so.
That's the first base runner of the game for the Saints, as the first pitch to Pete Durkee misses high for ball one. The Foresters are not necessarily caught off guard by keeping the Saints offense stagnant, as the 1-0 is lined deep right field. Tracking back, shielding the sun and making the play is Blake Hall. That's out number one. In the matchup that occurred on the 20th of July, I don't know why I have a 9 here as if it occurred in September. But the matchup that occurred on the 20th of July, that one was in Santa Barbara. The Foresters had a perfect game going through 5 2/3 against the Saints. The Saints ended up winning that one, though, 6-2 final. So the Saints never out of a game, even though they find themselves trailing 3-0 here. So Jason Gonzalez will step up to the plate, runner on first. First pitch to him. Looks like that one misses just a little bit high for ball one.
When you're playing against a tough team, really overall team like the Foresters, it's better, I wouldn't say better, but if you're going to give up runs, it's better to do it early in the game so it gives you trusting your offense to potentially catch up within 7 to 8, assuming lighting issues to catch up.
So the 1-0 popped up straight out of play. Gonzalez faces a 1-1 count now. A third baseman out of Vanderbilt. Started at third yesterday in this same spot. He went 2 for 5. Had 2 singles. One of them was an RBI single. That was in the first inning of yesterday's matchup. The 1-1, Lovano takes off for second base. Throw down is in time, but it skips over the glove of Cash and gets into center field as Lovano slides around and gets in there safely. So now runner in scoring position with 1 down and a 2-1 count to Jason Gonzalez.
And I like the aggressive base running by the Saints. I mean, coming off the bottom of the first where the Foresters picked up 3 runs, I mean, you want to answer back in some type of way. Luvano's been very successful on the base pass, and now you got him in scoring position with only 1 out.
Gonzalez gets excited by the high fastball, swings through it though, so the count's even at 2. Gonzalez with the 2-2 count. Evan Russell on deck, starting in left field today. It's his birthday today. Man on second. 1 down. Bergert delivers. Gonzalez watches it low and outside, and the count is full.
That was a good pitch location, too. Just a little bit off, and whole plate umpire, but umpire has a different strike zone. That one just didn't have to hit his version of.
So now we await the payoff pitch. Bergert taking a look back at second. Watching Lovano, now delivers. Chopped foul and out of play by Gonzalez. And the count remains full. Foresters finished off their regular season on a 2-game win streak. Both of those victories, I believe, are counted to be against the Saints. That was on Tuesday.
Yes.
Payoff pitch once again. Another shattered bat. This one right at the shortstop. Collecting and throwing across the diamond in time That's Tevin Tucker, and that's out number 2. There's no umpire over there at first base, as the umpire was standing in front of second. Made the call, though.
Batting 7, left fielder, number 8.
So that'll bring up Evan Russell with 2 down and a runner on. Russell started the season a little rough. Made the CCL prospect game, and since then has somewhat turned it around. First pitch to him. Breaking ball finds the inside corner for strike 1. Russell turned 21 today. That's a huge milestone, and I'm sure it'd make it better if he comes up with a hit here as he watches the 0-1 miss outside for ball 1.
What better way to celebrate your birthday with the potential victory of a championship?
Well, the Saints have some work to do if they want to lift that trophy at the end of today's game. They're down 3-0 here in the top half of the second inning. Lovano on second. The 1-1 miss high and outside for ball 2 to Evan Russell. Berger not too high in the pitch count. Has only had a couple counts go further than 3 or 4 pitches. If Russell sees another one after this one, he'll join that crew. The 2-1 popped up high in the air down the right field line. Tracking over is Hall. He's blocking the sun and makes the grab as he wanders over into the bullpen of the Foresters. And that's out number 3. So we will head to the home half of the second inning. 3-0 the score in favor of the Foresters. We're going to see if they can add on to that lead. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Tevin Tucker to lead things off for the Foresters here in the home half of the second. His team up 3-0. Trevor Beer on the mound gets a strike as he throws it past the bunt that was shown by Tucker. Tucker pulled back, though, maybe just wanting to see a pitch or two. Now he swings at the 0-1, lines it foul down the right field line. It'll just barely climb over that fence and go out of play. So the count will move to 0-2.
And it's good for Beer to get ahead in the count here. With this 0-2 pitch, he's got some flexibility.
The 0-2 fouled into the netting. So once again, a batter refuses to go down easy, and Tucker stays alive with an 0-2 count. I believe it was you and I who talked to Trevor Beer on a broadcast. And we talked to him about his punch-out pitch. We see it right there. The breaking ball finds the strike zone and sends Tucker down looking for out number 1. And Beer, after giving up 3 straight base runners to start the game, he now just logged his 3rd strikeout of the game, 2nd in a row. as that'll bring up Ryan Cash, the second baseman. But we talked to Beer about his punch-out pitch, and he said he had a little bit of flexibility there. Didn't necessarily have a go-to.
Yeah. And, I mean, his curveball has a lot of good movement on it, and you've seen him utilize it.
First pitch swinging is Ryan Cash. Pokes that one into left field. Russell collects and fires it into the infield. And with a one-out first pitch single, Ryan Cash is aboard and gets things going for the Foresters here in the home half of the second.
Now batting, left fielder, number 3, Eric Kennedy.
Now, Beer also not necessarily with a stereotypical arsenal of pitches for a starter. Doesn't necessarily have a go-to fantastic punch-out curveball. Likes to utilize his slider, I believe. As the first pitch to Kennedy in the second inning. Misses for ball one. Kennedy reached in the first inning on an error by the second baseman. That was Morgan Allen. He tried coming forward to collect it and throw over, just wasn't able to do so in a clean fashion. Got all the way to second base on that one, then came home to score on the double off the bat of Bellafronto. He's got a 1-1 count after the 1-0 was a breaking ball in the zone. The 1-1 from Beer, inside for ball two. And once again, possibly Trevor Beer's biggest fan in the stands, chanting out some orders, letting him know he's here and here to cheer him on. The 2-1 swung on in the dirt. McCarthy fires down to second, but not in time as Cash advances. So the count moves to 2-2, and Ryan Cash stands on second base with only one down here in the home half of the second.
It was a good throw for McCarthy. Just unfortunately, when as a catcher you're receiving a breaking ball, it makes it a little harder to quickly get out of the squatting position and throw it.
Especially with such a good jump there from Cash. So now the 2-2 poked at down the first base line. Durkee fields it, but it's going to be ruled foul, as that could have possibly been the second time Kennedy got on base by just throwing the bat through the zone. Instead, he's going to have to jog back and do the 2-2 once again.
So he's clearly been able to make contact with the ball in both of his at-bats.
Well, he does his job. He just throws the bat through the zone. He's not crushing the ball, but obviously it's worked out.
Worked out in the first inning.
Now the 2-2 to him here. Slashes at it, fouls it foul. Well, of course, fouls it foul.
Yeah.
Pokes it foul into the first base dugout where the Foresters team collects it. So the count remained 2-2. Trevor Beer, coming into this game, pitched 21 innings this summer, had a 2.57 ERA. That's the third, or tied for the second best on the team for the Saints, as the 2-2 is a breaking ball chopped down the first base line. Durkee squeezes it like an ice cream cone at the top of his glove and will run over and step on the bag, as that's out number 2. So that'll bring up Nick Bellafronto, who, needless to say, put some solid contact the first time he came to the plate. Got a 1-0 pitch he really loved, put it off the right field wall. Drove in the first of the 3 runs that came home to score in the home half of the first inning. He's got another runner. That's Ryan Cash standing 90 feet away on third base. First pitch swinging is Bellafronto. He kind of holds the pose a little bit after swinging through that one. Count moves to 0-1.
Well, it probably wasn't a pitch he should have swung at. You know, it was high, more like shoulder level height and kind of outside, so.
Pretty much the same exact pitch he lays off there, as the 0-1 misses high and outside for ball one. Yeah, like you said, it wasn't necessarily a pitch that I'm sure his coaches wanted him to swing at, nor did Bellafronto really want to swing at, but he went around regardless. Now the 1-1, he lines this one shallow left center field. That'll drop. And coming home to score is Ryan Cash. Moving to 2 for 2 on the day is Bellafronto. As he drives in another run, it's 4-0 in favor of the Foresters.
And that's tough to see if you're the Saints. I mean, you had 2 outs. All you needed was to get Bellafronto out to get back in the dugout with a goose egg. And unfortunately, Bellafronto is able to get a base hit and tack on another run for the Foresters.
First pitch to Christian Franklin. Misses the zone for ball one. Franklin this season hitting .342. Fouls off the 1-0 into the netting. And the count's even at 1. With a .342 average, he finished with 4 home runs, 2 triples, and 3 doubles. And if I'm not mistaken, 2 of those 4 home runs came on Tuesday against the Saints. So now the 1-1 from Beer. Chopper on the ground towards Cali. It goes off of his glove, and he will just have to pick it up and toss it over to his partner, Allen, as getting on board with an E6 is Christian Franklin.
And that's tough right there. It looked like that was something Cali should have had. It was a pretty clean ball, not really big of a funny hop or anything. And Cali's done a good job lately, last few weeks, on cleaning up his errors. But right there, it just unfortunately couldn't.
So the second error by a middle infielder in today's ball game for the Saints. As Presno, first pitch swinging as usual, pops this one foul out of play down the right field line. Gets a confirmation from the umpire asking, would that have been a strike if I didn't swing? The umpire nods yes. So Presno, with a clear head, steps back into the box. Foresters have 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors by the Saints here in the home half of the second, as Presno watches the curveball drop in for strike 2. I want to backtrack. I mentioned Beer didn't have necessarily a go-to curveball. His curveball is fantastic, but it's not necessarily his go-to strikeout pitch. My point I was trying to get across was the fact that he likes to utilize his fastball and slider as well. As that one gets past McCarthy, McCarthy's going to have to collect it. Bellafronto and Franklin jog over to the next base. So it's runners on second and third with 2 down here, and the count's 1-2 to Zach Presno, the catcher.
I mean, from my point of view, it definitely seems like he could use that curveball as a wipeout pitch. I mean, on that previous curveball that he threw, I mean, Zach Presno was frozen.
We'll see if he goes back to it here. The 1-2 fastball. Just high and outside for ball 2. Beer touches mid to high 80s with that fastball. Now the 2-2. Breaking ball finds the strike zone. Presno watches it go by for strike 3 looking. And although Blake Beer gives up another run, he'll go back to the dugout, minimizing the damage as he leaves 2 runners on second and third. We'll head to the top half of the third inning. 4-0 the score in favor of the Foresters. Thomas McCarthy to lead things off for the Saints here in the top half of the third inning. He will come to the plate for the first time today. His team trailing 4-0, still looking for their first hit. As he swings at the first pitch, fouls it out of play behind home plate. And he finds himself down 0-1. McCarthy went 1 for 4 yesterday, reached base 3 times with a single, reaching on an error as well, and walked. Came home to score in all 3 times he reached base. He swings through the 0-1 this time, so the count moves to 0-2. He did have a strikeout last game. Struck out looking in the third inning. Now the 0-2 to him here in today's third inning. He watches that one miss high and outside for ball 1. Smooth sailing for Burgert so far on the mound. Delivers the 1-2. Low and outside for ball 2. And the count's even. One thing I do notice about McCarthy is he has a fantastic understanding of where the strike zone is.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a catcher, so I think that definitely helps when you're behind the plate on the other side. You kind of have a good feel of where that strike zone is.
Especially if you're batting low in the order like he is in the 8th spot.
You've seen some pitches,
and now you've also seen, you've been out there in the field for 2 innings already. Catching, seeing every pitch come into you. You got a good feel of what this umpire's strike zone is as he watches the breaking ball miss high for ball 4, and the leadoff man is aboard with a walk. And that'll bring up Christian Scott with no one down here in the third.
And man, I'm not going to lie, that was a great curveball.
Center fielder, number 12, Christian.
It was a really good
By
curveball.
Berger.
Yeah.
I think he just left it a little too high.
Yeah.
If he drops that one maybe 2 inches lower, McCarthy goes down looking. Instead, he's standing on first base. Christian Scott shows bunt, pokes it foul though, as he will head back to that left-handed batter's box.
I like the idea to bunt in this situation. I mean, move McCarthy over to second, and I mean, Scott has got enough speed to make that bunt a single for himself, so I like the idea.
I wouldn't be shocked if he went with it again.
The 0-1 watches this one miss inside for ball 1. Scott in that second leadoff position, or the 9-hole. He went 1 for 2 yesterday, singled and scored in the second inning, and then he walked twice. Both of those times he came around to score as well. Now in his first at-bat today, pops the 1-1 up to the left side of the infield. Getting underneath it is Tucker over there at shortstop, and he will make the grab for out number 1. So now the top half of the order will come up for the Saints. Anthony Forte, who grounded out to Ryan Cash to start things off in this game, will come up to the plate for a second at-bat.
Right fielder, number 2, Anthony Forte.
Forte doesn't often go foiled at the plate for very long. When you see him have a rough at-bat in his first at-bat, he usually bounces back. We'll see if he can do that here, with McCarthy standing on first base. Berger gets the sign, delivers the first pitch low and outside for ball 1. Forte pretty much becoming the everyday right fielder for the Saints. I would say he took over that position a little bit earlier than halfway through the season. Got the start in right field today as he chops the 1-0 foul down the first baseline. Good effort by Selma to try and glove that one down. Sneaks by him, though, and gets all the way out to the bullpen. The count's even at 1 with 1 down as Forte fixes his gloves.
And Forte, another guy that was a part of the CCL Prospects game for the Saints. Saints had 8 players in the CCL Prospects game, so a lot of good talent on this team, and Forte is just an example of that.
He chops the 1-1 foul off the end of the bat, ends up in the dugout of the Foresters. So the count moves to 1-2. Forte had a 2-2 count in his last at-bat before chopping one over towards second base. Berger gets the sign, delivers the 1-2, pops straight into the screen behind him, and Forte stays alive.
And what do you expect? I mean, championship game, like we mentioned earlier. I mean, these hitters aren't going to go down without a fight.
Forte was possibly the biggest culprit in that. He refused to go down, fouled off, I want to say, 4 straight pitches. Now the 1-2 lines this one foul down the first baseline, and that is foul ball number 4 in a row for him this time. Count stays 1-2. The Saints trying to bring home the leadoff walk, something that we've preached all season long. Leadoff walks always come back to bite you. We're going to see if the Saints can find a way to make that a reality. There is one down here in the top half of the third. Burgert delivers another 1-2. This one's lined into shallow left field. Tracking over is Kennedy. He gets underneath it and makes the grab one step into foul territory, and that's out number 2.
That's just tough luck right there by Forte. An excellent speed and defense from Kennedy. As going into the postseason, Kennedy has had 23 stolen bases on the season, which has shown, and you can also tell his speed. You can tell from his speed in the outfield the impact that he plays for the Foresters outfield.
Yeah, he did a good job tracking that one down, running all the way from stationed in left center field to the foul line. As the first pitch to Allen in his second at-bat misses inside for ball 1, similar to how his last at-bat started. On the very next pitch in his last at-bat, he flew out to the center fielder Christian Franklin. This time Berger gets the 1-0, and off speed finds the zone for strike 1. So after McCarthy walked to lead things off this inning, 2 straight pop-ups from the Saints, and now the 1-1 is chopped over towards Bellafronto at third. He collects and fires across the diamond in time for out number 3. So the Saints still looking for their first hit of the game. We'll head to the home half of the third inning. 4-0 the score in favor of the Foresters. Four nothing the score in favor of the Foresters here. Ross Cadena leading things off in the home half of the third inning. He singled and drove home a run in his first at-bat. This time he gets the chance to start an inning. Trevor Beer still on the mound for the Saints, delivers the first pitch high and outside for ball 1. And Beer now facing his 14th batter of the game. He's given up 4 runs already on 5 hits. Delivers the 1-0, chopper right up the middle. Allen goes over, fields it cleanly, and lightly tosses it to first base as Cadena wasn't hustling down the line. And that's out number 1 in the third inning. And that'll bring up Blake Hall, the right fielder for the Foresters, who popped up to Pete Durkee for out number 2 in the first inning.
Right fielder, number 7, Blake
despite Beer's struggle on the mound, he has collected 4 strikeouts in today's game. Last 2 coming in the fashion of a looking strikeout, as Hall fouls off the first pitch to him out of play behind home plate. So the count's 0-1.
Yeah, I mean, Beer's pitches have looked good. I mean, he's had good movement with his breaking balls, and you know, I mean, the Foresters kind of took advantage of him early, and that's kind of what's given them this early lead. But I mean, Beer's stuff looks pretty good for the most part.
The 0-1 found the strike zone, so it's 0-2 now quickly to Blake Hall. Beer delivers. That one misses way outside for ball 1. There's some action going on in the Saints bullpen. It looks like number 5, Michael Garza, is warming up down there. If Beer can get through this inning cleanly, I imagine he'll start the 4th. 1-2, breaking ball misses outside for ball 2. So the count's now even. Now the lefty delivers. Breaking ball lined into left field. That one's going to drop fair down the left field line. It'll 3-hop the wall. Tracking over is Russell. He'll pick it up and fire it into the infield, but not before Hall is over there at second base with a 1-out double. And the Foresters get something going once again here in the home half of the 3rd.
That time, that breaking ball just hung a little too long there, so it gave Hall an easy opportunity to launch it, and he did so down left field. Easy double.
So now that'll bring up Quentin Selma, who struck out looking to end the 1st inning. That was his first at-bat and only at-bat until now, as he lays this one down towards Gonzalez at 3rd, who picks it up, has to eat it, as that's a perfectly executed bunt off the bat of Selma, and it moves the runners to the corners. Still only 1 down here in the 3rd inning. So the big first baseman lays down a bunt, and it was a beautiful one at that, down the 3rd base line. Gonzalez made the smart play, not trying to rush a throw down there to 1st. And the runners will remain on the corners. That brings up Tevin Tucker, who struck out looking. He started the 2nd inning. Now he gets another chance with runners on the corners, 1 down. First pitch to him misses high for ball 1. Tucker, the shortstop for the Foresters, wearing number 2. Right-handed hitter. Now the 1-0 is a fastball that finds the strike zone, counts even at 1.
And if you're Trevor Beer in this situation, you got 1 out, there's runners on the corners. I mean, pitching to the shortstop, Tevin Tucker, I try to keep the ball low. You want to pitch to a ground ball, hopefully to the middle infielders, double play, and you're out of the inning.
Foul ball straight back, hits the backstop right in front of us. So the count moves to 1-2 as the sophomore from West Virginia fouled that one straight back. Listed at 6 foot 175. Born January 2nd in the year 2000. Just a day shy of being born the first day of a decade as he swings through that one. We sent down via the strikeout for the 2nd time today. That's out number 2 in the 3rd inning. That would have been awesome if he was born on January 1st, 2000. You're literally born on the very first day of a new millennium.
Yeah.
That is pretty neat. That would be neat.
He missed out by 24 hours. Maybe less.
Tough luck.
That is tough luck. And he sees tough luck in today's game as well, as now he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. First pitch is blocked by McCarthy, stays by his feet. Advancing to second base is Selma, but having to stay at 3rd is Hall. So runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 down, and a 1-0 count to Ryan Cash, who singled in his first at-bat. Came around to score. He scored the last of the 4 runs that the Foresters have collected off of Beer so far. waiting for a sign. Steps off the mound, fixes his jersey, and now he will look for another one. The 1-0. Cash watches this one find the outside corner, and the count's even. Ryan Cash, the senior, 6', 165, out of Oral Roberts University. Rips the 1-1 into center field. That'll drop, and coming home to score are both runners. Hall scores and Selmo right behind him. And the score moves to 6-0 in favor of the Foresters.
And if you're the Saints, I mean, you wanted to get that out. I mean, there was a runner on second, there was a runner on third, and you didn't want to give up a hit in that situation because, you know, the Foresters already had 4 runs. You didn't want to give up 2 more to have them at 6. So tough to see that. And the Saints have put themselves in a bigger hole here.
Well, yeah, they find themselves down 6-0 now, and that is nowhere near ideal if you're anyone in the Saints dugout.
Cash was definitely cash money with that base hit.
Yes,
down
he
the middle.
was. He moves to 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles as the 1-0 now misses to Eric Kennedy, who gets his 3rd at-bat in the 3rd inning here. He is 0 for 2, but reached base in the 1st inning off an error by Allen, came home to score. Now he watches the 2-0 miss, and the count is 3-0. Beer, I can imagine this is probably going to be his last batter.
Yeah.
Especially if he walks him. Garza looks ready to go down there in the bullpen. The 3-0 from Beer finds the strike zone. Fastball pretty much right down the pipe. So the count moves to 3-1. Beer still got some work to do. There are 2 down here in the home half of the 3rd inning, but 2 runs have already come across the board for the Foresters. As Cash takes off for second, the 3-1 misses. McCarthy sends this one into the glove of Morgan Allen, who wasn't the one covering the bag. He was the one playing help defense there. Snags it, keeps it from going into center field. Doesn't matter anyways, though, as Kennedy walks, so the free bag would have been awarded to Ryan Cash.
And here comes Coach Milam.
And just as predicted, like you said, Milam heading out to the field. It's probably going to take Trevor Beer out of this game. We're going to see Michael Garza come into this one. As play takes a timeout on the field, we're going to take a timeout here too. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back once Michael Garza is warmed up and ready to go. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Michael Garza checks into the game, 2 down here in the top half of the third inning after Trevor Beer goes 2 2/3, has 6 runs given up to his name so far, but both runners standing on base belong to him as well. Garza looking to close things out in the third against Nick Bellafronto, who's 2 for 2 on the day. He watches the first pitch go by, find that inside corner for strike one.
And Garza entering this game, he's pitched 23 2/3. Has given up 10 earned runs. That puts him at a 3.80 ERA. Has given up 25 hits, struck out 16 and walked 4.
Now the 0-1 from Garza. Breaking ball hits Bellafronto in the back. He'll get a free bag, and the bases are loaded with 2 down here in the third.
Not the start you're looking for, but that's just unfortunate. It looked like as he was releasing the ball, it just happened to get out. Looked a little slippery in that one and just lost control of that. Definitely unintentional.
So now Christian Franklin will come up to the plate. He's the center fielder for the Foresters. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He reached on an error in the second inning. That would be his only recorded out. He's left on second base. Got another chance here as he watches this one miss inside for ball 1. Franklin doubled off the center field wall in the first inning, drove home Bellafronto. Bellafronto's on base once again for him. The 1-0 check swing did not go around. The Saints faithful really hoping that it would be called that he did, but I don't think it was anywhere close. So the count moves to 2-0. Franklin, as I mentioned, at the plate, 2 down here in the third. 2 runs have already come across for the Foresters. Swings through the 2-0. That's strike number 1. The bases are loaded for the Foresters as Ryan Cash, who drove in the 2 runs that scored this inning, is standing on third base. Eric Kennedy walked. That was Beer's last batter. He's standing on second. Now Bellafronto, Garza's first batter, was hit by a pitch. And the 2-1 misses inside to Franklin. So the count moves to 3-1, and Garza getting himself into a little bit of trouble here in relief of Beer.
Yeah, with the bases loaded, Garza has no room for mistakes. I mean, if he gives up another ball, he'll give up another run.
The 3-1 taken low and inside. Franklin will toss the bat and jog over to first base. As like you said, that free bag brings home a run for the Foresters, and it moves the score to 7-0 in favor of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
And, I mean, Coach Milam can't be happy with, what Garza has done thus far. I mean, to bring in a new pitcher, you hit the first batter, walk the next batter. I mean, that's just not what you expect when you bring in a new pitcher.
Now the first pitch to Zach Presno. He swings through that one. Count moves to 0-1. He's 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts, 1 of each fashion. His first one was a swinging one in the first inning, and his second one was a looking strikeout, which ended the second. He is the 9th batter to come to the plate here in the home half of the third inning, as Garza delivers this one missing inside for ball 1, and the count's even.
Presnell definitely likes to swing for the fences, as you've seen in each of his swings thus far. So if you're Garza, you got to be careful with this batter.
The 1-1. Presno watches the breaking ball find the inside corner for strike 2. Looks towards the umpire, expresses his frustration. So he'll step back into the box. 1-2 the count. Looking to avoid the sombrero in the third inning. Garza delivers out of the windup. The 1-2 swung on and missed. McCarthy holds on to it, and Presno, give that man a sombrero, strikes out for the 3rd time this game. We will head to the top half of the 4th inning. 7-0 the score in favor of the Foresters. The Saints have some work to do to chip away at the lead and get back into this one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the top half of the 4th inning. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Drew Cali gets a second chance in today's ball game as he will lead off the top half of the 4th inning. Struck out swinging his only at bat so far. That was to end the 1st inning. The left-handed hitting shortstop at the plate finds his team down 7-0. Watches the first one miss outside for ball 1. You know, we mentioned how enormous this game is for the Saints organization. First playoff appearance, now first championship game appearance. As the 1-0 is swung on and missed, Cali makes the count even at 1. This is not necessarily the start you imagine Arroyo Seco was hoping for.
No, definitely not.
The 1-1 chopped foul right into the screen behind him. That's strike number 2.
I mean, the Foresters have been pitching great thus far through the first 3 innings, haven't allowed a hit. And the Foresters have a great pitching staff, and the Saints pitching staff hasn't been able to match that.
Cali goes down looking for strikeout number 2 on the day. He's visibly frustrated after that one. That one found the same spot that Fresno was frustrated with. Obviously, that is becoming a consistent strike call for the home plate umpire today, as that's out number 1. Cali strikes out for the 2nd time, and that'll bring up Thomas Lovano, who started things off in the 2nd inning, got on board on a broken back chopper that got through the legs of Nick Bellafronto. Now the first pitch to him misses high and outside for ball 1. Bergert has pretty much seen nothing but smooth sailing so far this game. Delivers the 1-0 breaking ball, gets an emphatic strike 1 call, and the count's even. We were talking in between innings as Lovano fouls off the 1-1. Count moves to 1-2. You know, the Saints made a switch, and we've seen so many times throughout this year teams making a switch after the 3rd inning. I thought for a second, with the amount of warm-up pitches that were being thrown, that the Foresters had made a pitching change, but when talking with you guys, we determined Lovano watches this one go by for strike 3 looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Berger, and that's exactly my point. We determined Berger has been just absolutely, he's been shoving today.
Absolutely. I mean, back-to-back strikeouts, and I mean, he still looks great. Seems to be really be in a groove right now. Hasn't allowed a hit thus far through 3 2/3. So, I mean, if you're the Foresters, that's as much as you can ask for.
Bergert delivers the first pitch to Pete Durkee. Misses high and outside for ball 1. Durkee flew out to the right fielder Blake Hall in his first at-bat. Now the 1-0 to him. Chopped foul down the first base line, and the count's even.
And as a pitcher, nothing makes me more happy than not, of course, performing well on the mound, but also knowing that you have good run support behind you as well.
Now the 1-1 to Durkee. Chopped into right field. If he beats this one out to first base, which he will do, that is the very first hit of the ball game for the Saints. The no-hitter is no more, as Pete Durkee gets a 2-out single in the top half of the 4th inning, and the Saints have their 3rd base runner of the game.
Sure, the Saints may be down by 7, but sometimes all it takes is something as small as breaking a no-hitter, giving a good and even better hitter at Jason Gonzalez an opportunity to do some damage here.
Jason Gonzalez led the Saints in batting average on the season. As he watches this one miss low and outside for ball 1. He had about half the at-bats that Thomas Lovano did, though, and Lovano was the 2nd highest batting average on the team. Lovano also ranked in the top 3 in the California Collegiate League in terms of batting average, led the entire league in home runs with 5. Gonzalez didn't have enough time to put up that many home runs as he joined the league a little late, but not really any fault on him. He was busy winning a national championship. He fouled off the 1-0 right towards my car. Hopefully it's okay. I've got to stop parking there. I don't hear a car alarm going off, so I think everything's good. The 1-1 chopped down the right field line, high in the air. Tracking back is Hall. He's looking up, and he will watch this one go over the fence and out of here. Jason Gonzalez leaves the ballpark just after I mentioned he didn't have enough time to collect enough home runs to lead the league. Stomps emphatically on home plate, gives the Saints their first runs of the ball game. As they put up a 2 spot here in the top half of the 4th inning, they trail 7-2, but they're chipping away.
Yeah, and that's what the Saints needed right now. I mean, they hadn't had a hit. They hadn't had any runs thus far going into the 4th inning. They were able to get a hit. They were able to tack on 2 runs thanks to that 2-run homer. And now they have a little momentum on their side as we head to Evan Russell now at the plate.
Like you said, Evan Russell taking his hacks at the plate this time. Watches the first pitch go by. He flew out to right field to start things off, or rather to end things in the 2nd inning. Now he watches the 1-0 find the strike zone as the count's even. You know, Nicolette touched on it right before Gonzalez's at bat. Sometimes all you need is just to break up that no-hitter. That's what the Saints did. Got a home run now off the bat of Gonzalez right after the single from Durke. And Evan Russell watches the 1-1 go by for strike 2. He's going to look to keep the inning alive. The 1-2 to the birthday boy. Swung on, gets up the middle. Tucker lays out, unable to glove it down. As Russell puts together the 3rd straight hit for the Saints. It's a single into center field, and that'll bring up Thomas McCarthy, who is yet to have an official at-bat on the day. He had a walk in his first plate appearance. He's got a chance to keep a streak going and keep the offense hot for the Saints. Like we mentioned, this Saints team, you know, they're never out of a ball game.
No, especially with the bats that they have in their lineup. I mean, 1 through 7, those guys, I think, could probably hit it out of the park.
First pitch to McCarthy, and his possibly first official at-bat. Finds the strike zone, breaking ball on the outside corner. Yeah, you mentioned the top 7 hitters for the Saints have a whole lot of pop in their bat as the 0-1 misses high inside for ball 1. And then you've got McCarthy, who loves to work the count, find his way onto the base pass. And right behind him, you have your second leadoff man, Christian Scott, who is probably the fastest guy on this team. So if he gets on base, it's trouble for opposing teams as the 1-1 finds the strike zone. McCarthy, a little frustrated, he let that one go by. Finds himself down 1-2 in the count with 2 down here in the 4th. Now the 1-2. McCarthy watches this one go by. It finds the inside corner for strike 3. McCarthy just has a few words for the umpire. I read the lips at first. It said, "Come on, man," and I can't really fault him. That one looked to be a little inside, but regardless, he is hung up to dry as he watches strike 3 go by. That'll bring about the end of the top half of the 4th inning. The Saints get their first hit and first runs as they notch 3 hits in a row, a 2-run shot being the second hit as Gonzalez drives home 2. And the score now is 7-2 as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Ross Cadena stepping up to lead things off here in the 4th inning. 2nd consecutive inning leading things off for the Foresters. Thought about going around on the first pitch he sees, but it misses low and inside, and he did not go around. So that's ball number 1. The Saints put 2 up in the top half of this inning. So the lead for the Foresters now sitting 7-2, a 5-run ball game. Foresters going to look to get those runs back as Cadena fouls off the 1-0 out of play. Breeze starting to pick up a little bit here at George Sparky Anderson Field on the campus of California Lutheran University. The 1-1 breaking ball misses inside for ball 2. The breeze, it appears, is going from left to right. If you can see that American flag out there towards the left side of your screen, it appears the breeze is going from left to right, but if you go over towards our table, the breeze is actually going from right to left. So kind of a gyrating circular breeze here.
Maybe we have 2 different breezes going at the same time.
It's possible.
In opposite directions.
I think it probably has something to do with the fact that the stands kind of enclose the area around us, as the 2-1 missed and then the 3-1 missed as well. So Katena's on board with a leadoff walk.
Right fielder,
Also, what we're facing at is a little bit in the open. That could play a potential part.
So now coming up to the plate, Blake Hall. He had a double and came around to score in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2 on the day, that being his only hit.
And like you've said earlier, the Saints don't want that leadoff walk to come back and haunt them, right?
No, they do not. The leadoff walks always seem to do that. We'll see if Garza can avoid it. First pitch he throws finds the strike zone. Looks like there was a stray baseball that got away, rolled around the backstop. Kind of caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie. I thought the pitch got by. But McCarthy did, in fact, hold on to it, and the pitch did, in fact, find the strike zone. So 0-1 is the count now as the right fielder for the Foresters steps back into the box. Garza delivers. This one misses low and inside for ball 1. By the way, the final line for Trevor Beer, 2 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them were earned. He walked 1 and struck out 5. Garza came in relief, got the final out of last inning. Now he's looking to have a solid inning of his own. Delivers a 1-1 breaking ball, misses high and inside for ball 2. We are approaching the hour-and-a-half mark here. We are officially at, let's see, let's do some quick math. An hour and 26 minutes into this ball game. 2-1, chopped foul out of play behind home plate. Count moves to 2-2. By the way, if you don't want to have to do that math at home and you knew the first pitch was at 4:35, it is now 6:01 p.m. But that's not the important part. The important part is the fact that it's a 2-2 count with a runner on first, no one down. Garza pitching to Hall. Garza delivers a breaking ball that's crushed down the left field line. This one up, and this one's out of here. Blake Hall answers Gonzalez's 2-run shot in the top half of the inning with a 2-run shot of his own. Leadoff walks always come back to bite you.
They do.
Hall makes sure of that as there's still no outs here in the home half of the 4th. And the Foresters take back those 2 runs. It's now 9-2 in favor of Santa Barbara.
And Hall was in a very good hitter's count to begin with. That pitch got a lot of the plate, and with the right-hander, with ironically not a lot of breeze coming on the left field, but again, good hitting, a good contact hitter, and Hall was able to step into it and crush it down the left field.
So now stepping up into the box is Quentin Selma. He watches the first pitch miss low and outside for ball 1.
And I mean, this has been a rough game for the Saints pitching staff. They gave up 3 runs in the first inning, 1 run in the second, 3 in the third, and now 2 here in the 4th. I mean, there have been runs scored in every inning thus far. And if you're the Saints, that's not how you're going to win this ball game.
You have to win at least 1 inning, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to win the ball game, you got to win at least 1 inning.
And you
Saints
probably need a couple more on top of it.
Saints have yet to do that.
Yeah.
And in fact, clinched the fact that they're not going to do that in this inning at least, after giving up that 2-run shot.
And I mentioned in yesterday's ball game, you can have all the hitting if you want, but if your pitching is not there, you're not going to win.
All 4 pitches that Selma sees miss the strike zone, so 4 pitches, and he gets a free bag. Keeps him at 1 for 2 on the day, but now he's been on base twice with that walk. Still no one out here for Tevin Tucker, who has been unfortunate at the plate. He's got 2 strikeouts to his name already. He's trying to avoid a sombrero here in the 4th inning. The Foresters already have a player that would be adorning one, Zach Presno. 3 strikeouts through 3 innings. Tucker trying to avoid sharing that fate. First pitch to him finds the strike zone, though. Little fastball on the outside part of the plate. Gets him looking. Garza taking his time on the mound, delivers the 0-1, low and inside, ball 1. Tucker, one of the couple of players in the starting lineup for the Foresters that chose to wear the pants that go all the way down to the cleats. Not entirely sure what exactly that style is called, but not wearing the pants rolled up at the knees, basically, as he swings through the 1-1, count moves to 1 and 2. I was always way more old-fashioned. I wore my pants, I wore my socks all the way up to my knees, and I made sure everyone could see the socks. I don't know, it made me feel faster on the base pass. Totally has nothing to do with your speed. But
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
always
no,
made
definitely.
me feel faster. The 1-2, chopper right back to Garza, picks it up, throws it over to Callie, who throws over to first. Durkee collects, and that is a 1-6-3 double play, and there are 2 down here in the home half of the 4th inning. Tucker avoids the sombrero, but ultimately grounds into a almost worse fate with that
It's
double
probably
play.
the second worst fate.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe even the worst fate.
Didn't end the inning, though. There are 2 outs now in the home half of the 4th inning. Ryan Cash coming to the plate. And as Nicolette said earlier, he's been cash money at the plate so far this game. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs on the day, 2 singles as well. And those coming in the last 2 innings. Whole lot of 2s.
Deuce is wild.
He's got a 1-0 count with 2 down here after 2 runs have already come home in this home half of the 4th. The 1-0 misses outside. That's ball number 2. Cash wearing number 5. Garza wearing the same number on the mound. So there's 2 5s.
A 5-5 battle here.
The 2-0. Cash thought about going around, took it regardless, and the count moves to 2-1 as it found the top part of the zone. Breeze picking back up once again here. That American flag taken off in left center field. Last time I said it, the breeze died as soon as I finished saying the sentence. This time it carries on as the 2-1 misses outside for ball 3. Jack mentioned that runs have been scored in every inning for the Foresters. They had 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, now 2 so far in the 4th inning. Cash at the plate watches the 3-1 miss high and outside. He reaches base for the 3rd time this evening as he keeps his stat line at 2 for 2. But draws himself a 4 or 5 pitch walk, excuse me, and that'll bring up Eric Kennedy with 2 down and a runner on first.
Saints have someone warming up in the pen. I just can't tell from this angle who it is.
It's a lefty. I believe that's Hayden Harris. I could be wrong in that assertion, though.
I'm pretty sure that is Hayden Harris. Can't quite see his number, but you can tell by the way he carries himself. He's a very confident man and definitely has the stuff to back it up. First pitch from Garza to Kennedy finds the strike zone. Now the 0-1 popped foul down the left field line. Now I saw his number. It is, in fact, Hayden Harris warming up in the bullpen for the Saints. So it's an 0-2 count. Garza 1 pitch away from getting out of this 4th inning, minimizing the damage. The 0-2 swung on and missed. And Kennedy goes down swinging. So the Saints put up 2 in the top half of the inning, and it's immediately answered by a 2-run shot off the bat of Blake Hall. So the score is 9-2. We'll head to the top half of the 5th inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Christian Scott to lead things off for the Saints in the top half of the 5th inning. First pitch to him finds a strike zone. He popped up to the shortstop in his last at-bat. That was in the 3rd inning. Thought about going around on the 0-1. There's no appeal, so they're just going to say ball one, as that one was in the dirt. Anthony Forte, the on-deck batter, goes over to fetch the foul, or rather the errand ball. Tosses it back over to Race Gardner. Now, that time, Scott goes around, swings and misses. So the count moves to 1-2.
I wouldn't be shocked if Berger goes with the high heater right here.
1-2. Misses low and inside for ball 2. Berger still on the mound, just like Nicolette just said, for the Foresters. Why not, right? I mean, he's given up 2 runs on 3 hits. Those 2 runs came home because of a 2-run shot off the bat of the biggest guy on the Saints. The 1-2's a chopper to second base. Scott hustling down the line, but not enough as the play is made. Cash to Selma for out number 1. So now Anthony Forte, the leadoff man, will come around for his 3rd at-bat of the game. Got the start once again in right field. He's 0 for 2 on the day, grounded out to second base to start things off, and then popped out shallow to the left fielder. Kennedy had to make a long run over to that one to make the grab. Now he watches the first one in this at-bat go by for ball 1. The 1-0 popped high in the air left side of the infield. Bellafronto's underneath it. Now he's tracking back, and it goes off his glove, lands in fair territory. Forte not sure what just happened. He's going to be standing at first base, and he is quite lucky to be alive still on the base pass.
And talk about luck.
Bellafronto drops the easy pop fly.
Now batting, second baseman, number 20.
And that is Bellafronto's 2nd error of the ball game. Morgan Allen now stepping up to the plate. Runner on base, only 1 down in the top half of the 5th inning.
So maybe the Saints could get something started here. I mean, able to get one on, and it's all about keeping the line moving at this point.
Allen watches that first breaking ball in the strike zone. So it's an 0-1 count. That pop fly had a lot of power behind it on the drop. It dropped too hard. Very similar to the famous song that's out right now, Drip Too Hard. Belafronto unable to come away with it, though. Possible the speed had something to do with it. Wind maybe carried that one a little bit away from the line as well.
Well, if I remember it correctly, it appears like he was underhanding to catch the ball instead of actually being right under it and catching it above his head.
Which also did not lead to making it an easy catch.
Exactly.
The first two pitches to Allen found the strike zone. Now the 0-2 misses low and outside for ball one. So it's a 1-2 count. Bergert delivers, chopped foul towards the dugout of the Foresters. To the backstop, and going over to fetch it is the home plate umpire himself as he collects it. And I thought he was going to toss it over to the dugout. Instead, he just pockets that one. He'll use it on a later date, or a later time, I should say. Probably not a later date. As the 1-2 is lined into right field, dipping and drops right in front of Hall. Moving Forte over to second base. That's a 2-strike single off the bat of Morgan Allen. Now there's 2 runners on, 1 down for Drew Cowley, who struck out twice today. He is trying to avoid the sombrero here in the 5th inning. Quite a few players in trouble with that, if not already achieving it. There's a very good crowd here at George Sparky Anderson Field. Lots of patrons came out to support their teams as Cowley lines the first pitch he sees down the left field line. Rounding third is Forte. He'll come in to score. That one goes into the corner in left field, so Allen will score easily behind him. And Cowley is in there standing up with a 2 RBI double. And for the second straight inning, the Saints bring home some runs. It is 9-4 in favor of the Foresters. The Saints chipping away.
The shortstop from Cal Poly, Pomona, got the lot of that one, chips in the tip, and that hit as he crushed it to left field, and it went down the line way just above the Saints bullpen, so it gave Kennedy a harder time to track that one, easily scoring 2-1 from first base, and now you're sitting with a good hitter and Lovano up to bat in scoring position.
Like you said, one of the best hitters in the league. Top 3 in batting average. Thomas Lovano at the plate. First pitch swinging. Tips it off the top of his bat. Rolls into the dugout. Race Gardner collects it. So the count moves to 0-1. As I was saying, it's a good crowd out here. Lots of people out here, including almost our entire intern staff is here. We came out and supported. Huge shout out to everyone who traveled, including people who weren't even supposed to work today's game, like Ryan Winters, our ops intern. He's sitting out there with his girlfriend. He wasn't even supposed to be here today, but he showed up to help out, to cheer on the Saints. A couple other interns like Grace and Rebecca, they showed up and they're making sure to do their job. 0-2, Lovano fouls it off to stay alive.
Becca with the Instagram stories and Grace with the game recaps that you've seen on our website.
A lot of individuals behind the work you guys see, no matter what platform you see it on. Now the 0-2, Lovano lines this one right back up the middle. That'll drop in left center field. Rounding third and coming home to score easily is Cowley, trying to stretch it into a double as Lovano. He does so successfully as he slides around the tag, and he drives in another one. It is now 9-5. It's a 4-run ball game.
Saints are showing why they're hot this inning. Sparking a little bit of a spark now, trailing 4, and it's still the top of the 3rd inning with only 1 out. Great piece of hitting by Lovano.
And that's 3 hits in a row for the Saints after that error that was made by Belafronto that allowed Forte to get on base. You had a single from Morgan Allen, a 2 RBI double from Drew Cowley, and then an RBI double from Thomas Lovano. And, I mean, the Saints are entering that part of the lineup where you kind of would expect them to produce some runs. You got the 5-spot Pete Durkee coming to the plate, and Jason Gonzalez on deck, who hit that 2-run shot. So, I mean, if you're the Saints, you got to like where you are in the lineup.
You got the two guys who, or rather the three guys, who got the very first 3 hits of the ball game for you coming up next. Durkee at the plate, Gonzalez on deck, and Evan Russell in the hole. Bergert still out there for the Foresters, trying to get through his 5th inning of work. First pitch to Durkee fouled off into the upper parts of the netting, so the count moves to 0-1.
I was so ready for that one. I thought it was going to go over the net.
Now the 0-1 from Bergert. This one misses high for ball 1. Counts even at 1. Once again, Lovano standing on second base with 1 down here. The Saints putting up 3 already this inning, making a good case to try and win their first inning of the ball game. The 1-1 popped foul out of play, and the count's 1-2.
And a good job by the Saints just continuing to chip away at this lead. A 7-run deficit is now turned into a 4-run deficit. So, and they got 1 runner in scoring position.
1-2 to Durkee. Line straight out to center field. Coming forward and getting underneath it is Franklin. He will make the play. Lovano left second base, and the throw was in time, but it got past the glove of Cash. As Lovano lucks out, gets back to second base safely.
And he thought there were 2 outs right there when really the fly out to Franklin was the second out, so Lovano got lucky there and avoided an interesting double play.
And you can't really fault Lovano too much. I mean, I'm sure he pretty much figured that pop-up to Bellafronto was an out. In fact, it was not. And now that would have been out number 3 had Bellafronto caught that ball. Any run that comes home for the rest of the inning will be unearned. As Jason Gonzalez, who hit the 2-run shot in the 4th inning, comes up to the plate, watches the first pitch find the strike zone on the inside part of the plate, and he's got a 0-1 count. Gonzalez, as I mentioned, hit that home run last inning. It moves him to 1 for 2 on the day. He grounded out to shortstop in his first at-bat. That was on a full count pitch. This guy draws full counts like no one else. As the 0-1 misses low inside in the dirt. Good block by Presno to keep it in the diamond. Forces Lovano to stay at second base, and the count's even. Gonzalez wearing number 16 for the Saints, wore number 99 for Vanderbilt this past season.
That's quite a number to pick.
It's quite a different number to pick as well.
Yeah. You don't see many baseball players wearing 99. Maybe Manny Ramirez
Yep.
Maybe.
for the Dodgers. He wore 99.
The 1-1 to Gonzalez missed high and outside for ball 2. Now the 2-1, swung on and missed, same high and outside fastball. Gonzo bites on it, and the count's even at 2. You know, you usually see 99 being worn in football by one of the bigger guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Defensive line.
By no means is Gonzalez a big guy in a bad way. The guy is absolutely ripped. And you could hear when Race Gardner and Drew Cowley took over the broadcast, they called him first team all beef. As he watches this one go by for ball 3, he draws the full count once again. And I got to agree with him. This guy is he's not only tall, but he's a strong third baseman. And he looks like the kind of guy that would earn a scholarship or even earn the chance to play at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he's a man amongst boys out there for sure.
Full count delivery, smacked right up the middle, drops into center field. Lovano rounding third, coming towards the plate. The throw is not in time and offline. as that's an RBI single off the bat of Gonzalez. And the score now is 9-6. So the Saints keep chipping away.
And I mean, it's great to tack on more runs and lower the deficit, but it's all about the Saints pitching from this point on. Can they hold the Foresters at bay from this point forward to allow this comeback to happen?
Now timeout's going to be called. That looks like the head coach, Coach Pintard of the Santa Barbara Foresters. He's going to go out there and make a pitching change while we await the new pitcher and wait for him to warm up. We're going to take a short timeout here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the continuation of the top half of the 5th inning. Saints have already brought home 4 this inning, and they're going to look to add some more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You listen to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Connor Woods, the new pitcher on the mound for the Foresters. He inherits Jason Gonzalez standing over there on first base with 2 down here in the top half of the 5th inning. 4 runs came home this inning for the Saints. So far, I should say, as Evan Russell goes up to the plate. Watches the first pitch miss low in the dirt. Breaking ball. Count moves to 1-0. Russell 1 for 2 on the day. He had the 3rd of 3 consecutive hits that came last inning to break up the no-hitter. Woods delivers the 1-0. It misses high and outside for ball 2. Now, Bergert, officially as of right now, went 4 2/3, gave up 7 hits, walked 1, struck out 4, and as of right now, he's got 6 runs charged to him. As the 2-0 finds the strike zone 2-1. I believe of those 6 runs, though, only 4 are earned. But if Gonzalez comes around to score, it would be 7 runs charged to him, 5 earned. So a chance for his line to change if the Saints continue to stay hot at the plate. The 2-1 misses low and outside to Russell, and it's 3 balls, 1 strike.
And Connor Woods coming into this game has pitched 20 innings, giving up 6 runs. That puts him at a 2.70 ERA. Has struck out 12 and given up 6 walks. Has only allowed 11 hits through his 20 innings pitched.
Now the 3-1. Woods chops this one foul into the dugout of the Foresters. Excuse me, Russell chopped it foul. 3-1 delivery from Woods. So now it's a full count. Thomas McCarthy, the batter on deck, if the Saints can continue this inning. 3-2, 2 down, runner on first. Woods delivers, Gonzalez takes off, lined on the ground, foul down the third baseline. That one very close to possibly being another run as Gonzalez took off on the pitch. Instead, Russell will have to head back to the plate and do the full count pitch once again.
That looked really close, too.
The 3-2, Gonzalez takes off once again, chopped straight back. McCarthy collects it at the on-deck circle, and we'll toss it over to Gardner, who's been collecting all the foul balls. As we will do the dance one more time. Possibly again afterwards, but we'll see what Russell does with this pitch. The payoff pitch once again. Russell lines this one fair down right field, tracking back over his head. The ball gets over Hall, rounding third, and coming home to score is Gonzalez. The throw doesn't come home, it goes to second, and that is an RBI double off the bat of Russell. It's a 2-run ball game, and as I mentioned before, that run charged to Ryan Bergert. So now his line is officially closed, 7 runs, 5 earned. The Saints have put up 5 in this inning. They're chipping away. It's a 2-run ball game.
Good patience by Russell as he was working the count. Payoff pitch and launched it to right field over Hall's glove, enough to score Gonzalez, who easily took off on the over at first, which is the right thing to do when it's a 3-2 count and 2 out.
Woods delivers the first pitch to McCarthy. McCarthy, the only batter who has, well, now he has, but prior to him coming to the plate, was the only batter who had not come to the plate this inning. He's the 9th and final batter in the order. If he manages to extend the inning, the team will have batted around. Christian Scott led things off with a ground out to second baseman Ryan Cash. Connor Woods got the first pitch called for a strike on McCarthy. The 0-1 in the dirt, bounces away from the catcher Presno, rounding third, taking a long turn, but eventually heading back to the bag is Evan Russell, as he will stay 90 feet away from scoring and making it a 1-run ball game with a count even at 1-1 to the catcher for the Saints. We mentioned earlier in the game, regardless of the score, the Saints are never out of a ball game. 7 runs in the last 2 innings to counter the 7 runs that were put up in the first 3 for the Foresters. The only 2 in the way are the 2 that were scored last inning. The 1-1 misses high and outside. The count moves to 2-1. McCarthy 0 for 1 on the day. He walked in the 3rd inning, then struck out looking in the 4th. Gets his 3rd plate appearance of the day here and watches the 2-1 find the outside part of the zone. Fastball up and out for strike 2.
And McCarthy's going to need to protect here at 2-2.
2-2 to Woods, misses outside for ball 3. It's a full count. And we're going to have, for the 3rd batter in a row, a full count with 2 down here in the 5th inning.
And hopefully it's a replica of Evan Russell's last at-bat.
Payoff pitch from Woods. Chopped foul. He's doing a good job to emulate the man standing on 3rd base. Fouls off the first 3-2 pitch. I believe Russell fouled off 2 3-2 pitches before lining that one off the wall in right field. I thought the way that Hall was tracking back that he was going to get underneath it and make the play, but that one must have taken off and carried a little bit too far. As it got over his head, scored Gonzalez from first. 3-2 pitches swung on and missed. McCarthy goes down swinging. Strikeout number 2 on the day for him, and the Saints bring 9 to the plate, bring home 5. As the score now is 9-7. We will head to the home half of the 5th inning, see if the Saints can prevent the Foresters from scoring a run for the very first time in this ball game. It's now a 2-run ball game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the home half of the 5th. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Nick Bellafronto to lead things off in the home half of the 5th inning. His dropped fly ball, dropped pop fly, started the rally for the Saints in the top half of this inning, in which they put up 5 runs. Foresters find themselves leading 9-7 after having a 9-2 lead going into the top half of this inning. Bellafronto watches the first pitch, miss inside for ball 1. We were talking in between innings. I asked you guys, how do you think he feels? You guys said, probably not great because the drop pop fly started the rally. But after putting some solid contact onto that one, Russell tracks back and makes the play. We were talking, he can't feel too awful, though, because a bunch of those runs on the scoreboard for the Foresters are because of him. He drove in a run in the first inning, drove in a run in the second inning, came around to score in the first. So he's scored 3, and he may or may not have given them 2, but he's still winning in that regard. So that brings up Christian Franklin. Watches the first pitch to him, finds the strike zone. This is his 4th plate appearance in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 2 on the day. He started things off with a double. That was an RBI double. Now he watches the 0-1, miss the zone, counts even at 1 in his at-bat here in the 5th. As I said, he started with that double, then reached on an error by Cowley, and then walked in his last plate appearance. Now he chops it over to Cowley, who collects, fires across the diamond, and this time Cowley gets the job done, as that's out number 2.
And good to see Cowley recover after having that error back in the earlier innings. Able to make a textbook play right there. Retire the second out of the inning.
So now Zach Presno will come up to the plate. He's got a sombrero on the day so far, 3 strikeouts. Is it a golden sombrero that's next? Is 4 strikeouts a golden sombrero?
Maybe we'll go silver and then gold.
Silver, gold, then platinum, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so trying to avoid the silver sombrero. That's what we've decided to go with. He's got an 0-1 count now, watches the 0-1 go by for strike 2, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Presno, the catcher for the Foresters, wearing number 27, watches the 0-2 from Garza, misses just outside off the plate. Count moves to 1-2.
Good number, just not representing it well.
The 1-2. Presno chops this one on the ground towards third. Gonzalez collects, fires across the diamond in time. That's a 1-2-3 inning. And for the very first time in this ball game, the Saints send the Foresters down without putting another run up on the scoreboard. We'll head to the top half of the 6th inning. 9-7 the score in favor of the Foresters, but the Saints are chipping away. Jake Jackson, the new pitcher on the mound for the Foresters. He'll be pitching to Christian Scott, who led off last inning, and he leads off once again. First pitch to him misses, though, for ball 1. So Connor Woods only responsible for 1 out, as that one's chopped towards second base. Cash collects, throws over to first in time, and for the second straight inning, Christian Scott leads things off by chopping it towards second base. As I was saying, though, Connor Woods only got 1 out, went a third of an inning, gave up 1 hit, and struck out 1. That's his final line on the day, so now Anthony Forte will come to the plate. Forte 0 for 3 on the day, but he reached on that Bellafronto error. Came around to score. As Forte's first pitch swinging, that one's popped up. That one's going to be close to us, but not close enough for us to reach out and grab it. You might have heard the loud bang of the ball smack into the roof as the count moves to 0-1 to Forte. If only my arms were extendo arms, I was probably, I would say a max of 10 feet away from that one, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
So if I had the abilities to reach out further than 10 feet, I would have made that grab. Either way, Forte watches the 0-1 miss for ball 1.
I didn't even have a play on it either.
Now the 1-1. Forte pops this one in the sky. This one will stay in play as he's called off by Bellafronto, who makes the grab on the pop-up. A little bit of deja vu as a pop-up over towards Bellafronto. This time he makes the grab, and Forte doesn't get the free bag.
Man, I thought he was going to drop that one again, honestly.
The way he was coming over towards it, it didn't really instill confidence. Started running at the very last second, but he made the play regardless. And now that'll bring up Morgan Allen. First 2 batters retired in this inning. So he's going to look to prevent the Saints from going down in order. First pitch to Allen. Breaking ball finds that low inside corner. So the count moves to 0-1.
Jake Jackson, the pitcher, the new pitcher for the Foresters. Coming into this game, he's pitched 26 2/3.
The 0-1's a chopper to Bellafronto at third. Collects, fires across the diamond, pulls the first baseman off the bag as Selma had to jump. And he tried to apply the tag on Allen, but Allen's a speedy guy. Gets to the bag in time. Not sure if they're going to make it an error or a base hit. I believe they're giving
Error.
the error to Bellafronto. So that is Bellafronto's 3rd error of the ball game.
And I'm glad Morgan Allen got on, because now I can continue the stats for Jake Jackson. So, like I've said, he's pitched 26 2/3. He's given up 15 earned runs. That puts him at a 5.06 ERA. He struck out 28, has given up 27 hits, and only walked 5.
The 1-0 to Cali's popped high in the air down the left field line. It's tailing foul, though, and it'll drop into the Saints bullpen. Not a single one of them looked up. They're all just kind of looking down at their feet, and I guess they had confidence that ball wasn't going to hit them, so the count moves to 1-1. By the way, Bellafronto coming into this game had 1 error all season long. Now he has quadrupled his error total with 3 in this game. Moves him to 4 on the season as Cali rips this one to left field. It's dying, but getting underneath it and making the grab is Kennedy. So the Saints get 1 on, but are unable to move him anywhere but first base. As we will head to the home half of the 6th. Score remains 9-7 in favor of the Foresters. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for that. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live with Matt Berner, Jack Steele, and Nicolette Rojo, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Ross Cadena to lead things off for the Foresters for the third time today. Led things off in the third and the fourth inning. Watches the first pitch go by. Missed the strike zone, though, as the count moves to 1-0. Here in the sixth inning, the score 9-7 in favor of the Foresters. The Foresters have 9 runs on 9 hits as Cadena rips this one foul down the third base line. Foresters have 9 runs, 9 hits, and they also have 3 errors. Saints, 7 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. So it's a 1-1 count now. Garza winds, delivers. Cadena takes this one for strike 2. Garza has 2 1/3 innings under his belt so far. Looking to make it 2 2/3 if he can retire Cadena here. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Cadena goes down swinging, and that officially moves Garza to 2 2/3 on the ball game. I imagine by going 1-2-3 through the order in the 5th inning, he earned himself this entire inning unless he gets into some trouble.
And going through that 1-2-3 inning, I probably settled him down a little bit. Able to get the swinging strikeout to start this inning off. So a good start for Garza here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Warming up in the Saints bullpen right now is the tall left-hander Justin Kleinsorge. First pitch swinging is Blake Hall. It's popped high in the sky, deep center field, and actually coming forward rather is Scott. He will get underneath it and make the play. The ball died a little bit as it got out there in the air. So 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th inning. And that'll bring up Quentin Selma. Selma 1 for 2 on the day. Reached base with a walk in the 4th inning as well. His one hit was a bunt single down the third baseline. He actually came around to score in the 3rd inning after that. Now he watches the first pitch to him here in the 6th inning. Miss high and outside for ball 1. The 1-0. Garza misses low and outside once again. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Garza's only allowed 1 hit so far in his appearance. As the 2-0 misses high for ball 3, he has had trouble finding the strike zone. His very first batter, he came into the game, he walked, or rather, hit Bellafronto with a pitch. Then he walked the next batter he faced, Christian Franklin, as he finds the strike zone here with 3-0, 3-1. So he gave away 2 free bags in the 3rd inning. He also gave away 3 free bags in the 4th inning. So he's got 5 so far on the game. Now the 3-1 misses outside for ball 4. That is free bag number 6. As Selma will reach safely. Tevin Tucker coming to the plate. He is 0 for 3 on the day. He struck out twice and grounded out into a double play. That double play was his last at-bat. Came in the 4th inning. Chopper right back to Garza on the mound, who turned around, fired to Cowley at short, and then fired over to Durkee at first. Looking for his first hit of the ball game. Garza takes his time. Bunt is laid down. He collects and will throw over to first base in time for out number 3. So a free bag is awarded from Garza, his 6th of the game, but it's erased by that 1-3 bunt out, or ground out, I should say. Right back to Garza. We'll head to the top half of the 7th inning. Score remains 9-7 in favor of the Foresters. Thomas Lovano to the plate to lead things off for the Saints here. Getting things started in the 7th inning. Designated hitter watches the first pitch miss high for ball 1. Lovano 1 for 3 on the day. He reached base on an error in the 2nd, doubled and drove home a run in his last at-bat. This time he puts a charge into it down the left field line. That'll drop fair and go all the way to the Saints bullpen. Lovano rounding first, heading towards second. He'll be in there with a stand-up double as he lead things off in the 7th inning, doing pretty much the best thing a leadoff man can do, get himself into scoring position. And that'll bring up Pete Durkee, the first baseman for the Saints. He's 1 for 3 on the day.
Yeah, like you said, a great start for the Saints here in the top half of the 7th. You know, Thomas Lovano, leadoff man, doing a great job of getting on base, and not only that, but putting himself in scoring position here with no outs.
So Durkee comes to the plate. He is the tying run at the plate right now. And I can say that with confidence because this guy has the power to leave the ballpark. First pitch to him, misses inside for ball 1. I mentioned the power to leave the ballpark. The guy on deck has showcased that this game. He had a 2-run shot in the 4th inning. That's Jason Gonzalez. Now Durkee lines this one to right center field. That one will drop in the gap. Rounding third and coming home to score is Lovano. And heading for second base with a stand-up double is Pete Durkee. It's a 1-run ball game. The Saints just keep chipping away. They were down 9-2. Then they made it 9-7. And now first 2 guys double in the 7th inning. It is now 9-8. That brings up Jason Gonzalez. The guy I mentioned has already left the ballpark today. And that prompts a timeout and a quick conversation out there on the mound from the Foresters.
And if you're the Saints, that's just how you draw it up. Back-to-back doubles. You put up 1 run, and now it's only a 1-run deficit. And now you got the man at the plate that you want at the plate, and Jason Gonzalez with a man in scoring position, the tying run at second base.
Well, I've mentioned this briefly. Gonzalez not only has power, led the team in batting average. So this is exactly the guy you want at the plate and exactly the situation you want him in. 1-run ball game, runner in scoring position. We've mentioned it a few times throughout the broadcast. The Saints are never out of a ball game. They were trailing by 7 runs twice, 7-0, 9-2. Now they find themselves 1 run away from making this a tie ball game and basically erasing the entirety of the first 6 innings.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, like off air, but the complexion of this game has completely changed. The Saints were down 7 runs, and now all of a sudden they're only down 1. And all they need is a base hit out in the outfield, and it's a tie ball game.
Number 1 rule as a baseball fan in general, don't leave until last inning.
Durkee wandering off second base. Drew the attention of Jackson out there on the mound. No throw was made, though, so Durkee just kind of jogs back to the bag. Now Jackson delivers the first pitch to Gonzalez inside, about belt high. Count moves to 1-0. The third baseman, 2 for 3 on the day. He scored both times he's made it onto the base pass. One of them was that 2-run shot he hit. The other one was a single in the 5th. Now he watches the 1-0 miss high and outside. That's ball 2.
And if you're pitching to Jason Gonzalez, I mean, that's not what you want to do. 2 straight balls, and now Jason Gonzalez is in a good hitter's count here at 2-0. So he'll be looking for a good pitch to hit.
The 2-0 from Jackson. Breaking ball cuts across the plate for strike 1. That one found the strike zone, but can't fault Gonzalez for taking it. That's one of those pitches that the best thing you could have done is maybe put a soft liner into right field. The way it was tailing away from the batter. Now a 2-1 pitch. Popped up, this one tailing and out of play down the right field line. So Gonzalez draws the count even at 2. One thing I mentioned earlier, this guy has the ability to draw a full count like no one else. He's drawn 2 already this ball game. Chance to draw a 3rd here if the 2-2 misses the strike zone. The ball got away from the Foresters' bullpen. So the home plate umpire went over, collected it, tossed it back over to the guy in charge of keeping the catcher safe down there. The 2-2 pitch. Jackson delivers on the outside corner. Strike 3 looking. Gonzalez not sure about that call, but regardless, he's going to have to walk back to the dugout with a backwards K in his column. And that'll bring up Evan Russell, who is also 2 for 3 on the day. He had a single in the 4th, double in the 5th. Once again, only 1 down here in the 7th inning. The Saints have already brought 1 run across, and that tying run is standing on second base. Russell watches the first one inside. Belt high once again for ball 1. Common theme I'm starting to notice here is Jackson starts inside with that fastball, then he goes to the breaking ball that cuts across the plate. There it is. Well, and outside, though, for ball 2. Not a bad strategy. Back the batter off so that when he watches the breaking ball come in, it might look like it's going to tail off the plate, but in fact, it actually does couch that outside corner. Now the 2-0 from Jackson. Same breaking ball. This one finds the zone. And following suit of the last at-bat, the count moves to 2-1.
And that's back-to-back times where Jackson has had 2-0 counts, and he's went to the breaking ball on that 2-0 count, able to find the strike zone in both of those at-bats.
2-1, ripped down the left field line, but it drops foul, and into the Saints bullpen it goes. So the count will move to 2-2. And Jackson battling out there on the mound, trying to prevent that tying run from coming home. Evan Russell doing his best to stay alive and keeps this Saints comeback alive.
And if you're Evan Russell, you got to be prepared for that curveball that might be coming your way here at that 2-2 count.
Jackson sets. Out of the stretch, delivers, and Russell fouls it into the netting behind. We mentioned it a few times earlier in the broadcast. Russell 2 for 3 on the day. Today is his 21st birthday. And he's got a chance to make his birthday even sweeter here. That tying run standing in scoring position. Only 1 down here in the top of the 7th. Jackson steps off the mound. Gonna watch Durkee go back. And he's gonna fix his jersey and get back on the rubber. Jackson gets the sign, delivers. Russell thought about going, didn't go around, as that one misses high for ball 3, and it's a full count. Jackson touching low 90s on that one. Believe the speedometer out there said 91 miles per hour on a high fastball.
That's pretty good velocity there.
Payoff pitch, line deep left field. Down the line, getting underneath it is Kennedy. He will make the grab for out number 2, and Durkee is going to have to stay at second base.
If you're Jackson, you got to be happy about that one, because not only do you get Russell out, but the fact that you have a runner, Saints have a runner at second, and you fly it to left field, easy throw over at third. So good decision by Durkee to not advance.
So now Thomas McCarthy to the plate. He had a runner in scoring position in the 5th inning, struck out swinging. He's actually got back-to-back strikeouts going into this at-bat, 0 for 2 on the day. Only time he's reached base was his first plate appearance. It was a walk. Now he swings to the first pitch he sees, and count moves to 0-1. He's trying to avoid a sombrero on the day. Despite the plethora of runs being scored by both these offenses, we've seen some struggles at the plate. The 0-1 finds the outside part of the plate. Count moves to 0-2, and Jackson 1 pitch away from avoiding possibly the worst case scenario, as he had a runner on second, no one out. A 1-run ball game. Now the 0-2 to McCarthy, taken way outside for ball one. McCarthy, a natural catcher himself, probably not going to be fooled by that fastball outside. You usually see that being done to try and draw out a swing. But as a guy who understands the strike zone, he did not. The 1-2, he watched the breaking ball. A good job slowing down his swing to make contact, foul it straight back into the net. So McCarthy stays alive. The count remains 1-2. Now Jackson delivers. Breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. McCarthy goes down looking. That's a sombrero for him. As Jackson retires the last three batters in order. Gave up back-to-back singles to start, back-to-back doubles to start the inning as the Saints brought home a run. The score is 9-8 as we'll head to the home half of the seventh inning. It's stretch time, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Ryan Cash to lead things off for the Foresters here in the home half of the seventh inning. Shows bunt, but pulls it back as Garza misses high and outside for ball one. You know, I started off thinking that this guy was Trevor Beer's biggest fan, but I'm starting to think he's a Foresters fan. He says, let's get busy and rip it, and in fact, that's what Cash does on the 1-0 pitch, lines it into left field. It dips in front of Evan Russell, who'll pick it up, throw it into the infield, but that's a leadoff single for Cash, and he has been about as good at the plate as you can ask from a 9-hole hitter. 3 for 3 on the day with a walk as well. All three of his hits, singles. So he's done his job, got himself on base, came around to score both times he singled before.
Showing why he's money for the 9th spot.
And now Eric Kennedy will come to the plate, shows bunt, lays it down this time. Garza picks it up, fires, he'll hold on to that baseball as Eric Kennedy gets on board, lays down a perfect chopping bunt. Garza has to eat it, and now the first two batters on board.
Good decision not to throw it because Kennedy, as soon as Garza picked up the ball, Kennedy was already 3/4 short, 3/4 there. So sometimes it's better to just hold on to it than throw it and advance the runners more.
And after a very solid outing from Michael Garza, this is going to be the end of his day as head coach Aaron Milam's going out there. He's going to bring in Hayden Harris, the lefty wearing number 30 for the Saints. We'll see if he can get himself out of this jam after the first two batters reached base off of Garza. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after Harris is fully warmed up. Once again, the score 9-8 in favor of the Foresters. Saints trying to keep this a one-run ball game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hayden Harris checking into the game for the Saints. He's going to inherit 2 runners on the base paths. Back-to-back singles to start the game, or rather to start the inning for the Foresters. Harris's first pitch misses high and outside to Nick Belafronto. Belafronto is 2 for 3 on the day. He was also hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. He's got 2 RBIs to his name and a run scored. Harris, the left-handed pitcher, delivers the 1-0 low and inside for ball 2. Hit 88 miles an hour on that one. Something that I was absolutely flabbergasted to read when I was doing some research prior to the season on Hayden Harris was the fact that he comes from Grovetown, Georgia. And he is the very first student from Grovetown, Georgia to play any sport at the D1 level.
Wow.
That's crazy.
The lefty made his way to Georgia Southern. Now he's got a 3-0 count on Nick Belafronto. Harris listed at 6 foot 180. Just finished his sophomore year with Georgia Southern. Now the 3-0 is a chopper towards Callie at short. Collects, tosses over to Allen at second. It was a low toss. Allen does a good job to hold on to that one, get the out at second. Unable to move over to first base, though. So Belafronto reaches on a fielder's choice, and there's runners on the corners with 1 down here. And that brings up Christian Franklin, who is 1 for 3 on the day. He also walked in the 3rd inning. His only hit came in the 1st inning. It was an RBI double. He's got another guy in scoring position here with Ryan Cash standing on 3rd base. It is only a 1-run ball game. These would be huge insurance runs for the Foresters as we get late into this one. First pitch swinging is Franklin. He fouls it straight back into the backstop.
Coming into this game, Hayden Harris, he's pitched 27 innings, has given up 10 runs. That puts him at a 3.33 ERA, has given up 27 hits, has struck out 33 batters, and walked 8.
Lefty waiting for a sign, gets one, delivers the 0-1 low in the dirt for ball 1. Something huge about the fact that he is a left-handed pitcher is it means Nick Belafronto is most likely not advancing to second base unless the ball is put in play.
And if you're the Saints, that's kind of a good position. I mean, you got runners on the corners, you're looking for a ground ball double play to get out of this inning.
1-1 line to center field. Coming over is Scott. He will make the catch. He will collect, fire into the infield, but coming home to score without a throw is Cash. And the Foresters tack on their first run since the 4th inning. As they extend their lead, it is now 10-8 in favor of Santa Barbara.
Catcher, number 27, Zach Fresno.
So a huge sac fly off the bat of Christian Franklin. Got to Scott deep enough in center field where it pretty much guaranteed the fact that Cash was coming home to score. The throw went to second base to make sure Bellafronto stuck at first. And now Zach Fresno, who's got 3 strikeouts to his name and an 0 for 4 day so far, steps up to the plate. First pitch finds the strike zone, and it's 0-1. You know, as much as that might frustrate you as a Saint or as a Saints fan, that's probably one of the best things that you could have gotten out of Franklin, is he is their 3rd hitter and a very powerful and well-executed hitter at that. So they get the fly ball out. They get out number 2. Now, you can't assume a double play, but if Cowley's able to collect that ball and toss a nice toss over to Allen, do you think if they were able to complete, well, first of all, do you think if Allen fielded that cleanly, do you think he'd be able to turn around and get Bellafronto at first for the double play?
Well, I think it would have been better if Cowley tossed the ball a little bit more accurately.
That's
He
what I was
tossed it
saying.
pretty low,
Right,
so
right.
it was kind of hard to turn on the bag and make the throw over to first. I think if it was a little bit more accurate, they could have had a better chance of getting that double play.
The 1-2 swung on and missed. There's the silver sombrero. We decided that's what we're calling it. As Fresno goes down swinging, that's his 4th strikeout of the game. Harris limits the damage. Only gives up 1 to counter the 1 that was scored in the top half of this inning. So the score is 10-8 in favor of the Foresters as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. Once again, Foresters have a 2-run lead. Saints need to chip away at it with only 2 at-bats remaining. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for that. You listen to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live with Matt Berner, Jack Steele, and Nicolette Rojo, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Christian Scott leading things off for the Saints once again. This is, I believe, his third time doing it this game. Watches the first pitch find the zone for strike one. Saints down to their final 6 outs here. 8 runs, 10 hits, compared to the 10 runs, 13 hits for the Foresters. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Foresters as Scott swings at the 0-1, pops it foul and out of play. Bellafronto gave a good chase, but it ended up landing on top of the Saints dugout. Elijah Trest checking into the game for the Foresters, wearing number 35. The left-hander pitched the last time I called a game between these two teams. Once again, that was the game on the 20th of July. He went 1 inning, gave up 1 run on 2 hits. In that inning, he also had 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. He delivers the 0-2 and it misses, so the count moves to 1-2. With Trest coming into the game, Jake Jackson has a final line of 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, as Scott fouls off the 1-2 and stays alive. Both of those, or excuse me, that 1 run that is charged to Jake Jackson is an earned run. So now Scott, looking for his first hit of the game, 0 for 3 so far, watches the 1-2 break into the zone, and he will go down. He is ejected from the game, I believe, after he brushed some dirt towards the home plate umpire. So Scott goes down looking, and he will most likely be kicked out of this one.
It's the second time he's been kicked out of a game this season.
Obviously said something the umpire didn't take too kindly. And now the Saints are down to their final 5 outs. Head coach Aaron Milam's going to go out there, have a chat with his center fielder, ask him what happened. And now the umpires are having a meeting to talk about what just transpired.
Coach Milam's going to come out there, probably discuss what happened.
They might be asking Scott to vacate the field.
That's, I think, what they're doing.
So Scott ejected from a game, like you said, I believe for the second time this season. Does it after striking out looking, and that'll end his day 0 for 4 as he walks out through that left field fence. He'll head into the stands. Looks like play might be beginning to resume. Still not entirely sure what Scott said. But once again, the home plate umpire didn't appreciate it. There was no hesitation, just immediately tossed him out of the game. And you have to wonder what the exchange was. Regardless, though, Scott leaving today's ball game finishing 0 for 4, and Anthony Forte will come up to the plate. He is also 0 for 4, but he came around to score after he reached base on Bellafronto's dropped fly ball in the 5th inning. He's got a 1-1 count after the first pitch missed the zone, then he swung through the 1-0, so the count's even at 1. You know, with a 1-1 pitch that misses high and outside, with a comeback that looked like it was almost inevitable for the Saints in the works, you have to wonder if having one of your players just ejected from the game kind of takes the air out of a team. Or will this light the fire underneath the Saints and get them going?
Well, I think it's up to them to make that decision, because I think it could go either way.
2-1 misses the zone, so the count's 3-1. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure which way it will go. Not entirely sure where Christian Scott went in general. As the 3-1 finds that outside corner, Forte frustrated will step out of the box, fix his gloves, and step back in. So it's a full count.
And it looks like the umps are trying to move the Saints bullpen a bit. Pan's obviously not happy about, and the Saints side not happy with what's going on.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm not sure what's going on right now. They made someone else leave the field. As the full count delivery is chopped towards third base, Belafronte collects, throws across the diamond, and Forte beats out the throw. So that's an infield base hit, and things will get started here in the 8th inning with 1 down and a runner on. That brings up Morgan Allen, who is 1 for 4 on the day. He had a single, came around to score in the 5th inning. He also reached on an error by Belafronte in the 6th. Allen has been a beacon of hope as well as a hitting machine since he came back from his injury to his hand. And now we've got another stoppage in play. What on earth could possibly be causing
Now
this?
batting, second baseman, number 20, Morgan.
Good question. By the way, if you're the Saints, you can't let any of that distract you and just keep playing ball here. As Forte just beat out a decent throw from Belafronte. So hopefully that will bring up the Saints' momentum and all this hoopla that's happened in the last few moments.
Morgan Allen swings at the first pitch but comes up empty, so the count moves to 0-1. If you're the Saints, you got to start acting quickly. There's no lights. There are no lights here at George Sparky Anderson Field. And the sunset is scheduled for 8 p.m. It is 7:23, I believe, 7:24 now. As there's a pickoff attempt over there to first base, Forte slides back in there safely. So there are 36 minutes until that sun sets and until the game has to be called. So these stoppages in play are really hurting this Saints team that are trying to chip away, get back into this ball game. As the 0-1's in the dirt, Allen watches it go by for ball 1. I understood the first stoppage in play, making sure Scott left the ballpark. The second one, it was kind of understandable, making sure that bullpen was, standing up and being aware of where a baseball could go, as the 1-1 is swung on and missed. Throw down to second base is in time, but it gets past Cash once again. Goes into center field. Forte slides in safely at second base, and the runner is in scoring position now with a 1-2 count to Allen. But that third stoppage in play, what was happening?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
We were kind of looking around to see what it could have been, but there was nothing that I saw that signified that there should have been a stoppage of play.
And once again, we're taking a good portion of time in between pitches. But finally, Allen steps back into the box. Trest gets ready to deliver. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Allen goes down swinging, and that's out number 2 in the 8th inning.
Now batting.
And now it's going to be up to Drew Cowley to drive in this run from second base. Try to lower the 2-run deficit to 1-run deficit.
Well, you got to go back right now to last inning, having the tying run standing 180 feet away, no outs. Unable to bring the run home with the Saints, and now they've got another run standing 180 feet away. That would make it a 1-run ball game if they could bring him home. And they had that with 1 down. Then Allen strikes out swinging. Drew Cowley at the plate. Saw the first one go by for ball 1, but the Saints have to convert, especially now that we're getting down. We're to the last 4 outs of the ball game for the Saints. The 1-0 misses high and outside, and the count moves to 2-0.
Yeah, with only 4 outs to work with for the Saints the rest of this game, you got to take advantage of these opportunities to bring runs home. And Drew Cowley's got one right now with Anthony Forte standing at second.
The 2-0 swung on, chopped into the netting. 87 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate. So the count moves to 2-1. Cowley rubs a little bit of pine tar onto his batting gloves. Now he's ready in the box once again. Tress, the right-hander, delivers the 2-1 line foul down the left field line, out of play, and the count's even at 2.
Didn't really seem like Cowley put a full swing on that. He kind of just poked at it, just kind of made it go the opposite direction foul. I feel like if he would have put a full swing on it, it may went the opposite way down the line.
2-2 rolled over foul down the first baseline, collected by Selma over there. Fortunate for Cowley that it tailed foul. So he'll get another chance here, 2-2 the count. Once again, timer till sunset, now hitting 33 minutes. Saints have 2 runs to make up if they want to keep this game alive. And the 2-2 is swung on and missed in the dirt. Presno throws it down to first base. Selma stretches, uses every inch of his tall frame to make the grab. And that is out number 3. 3 strikeouts in the 8th inning. Only one that didn't strike out was Anthony Forte, who singled but ended up left on second base after he stole the bag. So we will head to the home half of the 8th inning. It's still a 2-run ball game, 10-8 in favor of the Santa Barbara Foresters. Ross Cadena once again to lead things off for the Foresters. This is his 4th time doing so today. First pitch to him missed the zone from Hayden Harris, so the count is 1-0. To the designated hitter, who is 1 for 3 on the day. He's got a single, that was in the 1st inning, drove in a run on it. Walked, came home to score, that was in the 4th inning. The 1-0, Cadena tried to sell that it was inside, but it found the strike zone, so the count's 1-1. And our favorite Foresters fan in the crowd, letting the umpire know he wasn't a fan of that call. The 1-1's chopped high into the sky, left center field, coming forward and making the grab for his first play in the game is Nolan Tressler. Came in for Christian Scott after Scott was forced to exit the game. And that is out number 1.
And if you're the Saints, I mean,
Right fielder, number 7.
here in the bottom of the 8th, you want to go 3 up and 3 down. Get back in the dugout as soon as possible because the sun is going down and we're running out of daylight here in Thousand Oaks. So a good start. 1 up, 1 down. Hopefully we'll make it 2.
First pitch to Blake Hall finds the strike zone. Hayden Harris works quickly on the mound, so he's one of the ideal pitchers to have out there. Doesn't like to waste a whole lot of time. Kind of gets his sign and goes through the motions as he delivers the 0-1. 85 miles an hour past the bat of Blake Hall, and the count moves to 0-2.
And that seems to be a pattern with a majority of the Saints lefties on this team. Like to get it and go.
Now the 0-2. Harris delivers, swung on and missed. And Blake Hall goes down swinging. That's out number 2. And you mentioned the Saints needing a quick inning here in the 8th inning, the home half of the 8th inning. Harris has thrown a total of 6 pitches, and he's gotten 2 outs, and that'll bring up Quentin Selma, who's 1 for 2 on the day. He's got 2 walks to his name as well. He walked in the 4th, walked in the 6th, both times. Stranded standing there on first base. Selma comes up empty on that one, so the count is 0-1. Harris listed at 6 foot. That might be giving him an inch. Probably about 5'11", 5'10", but the guy's got a whole lot of power. As he delivers the 0-1, 88 miles an hour fouled off the bat of Selma, so the count moves to 0-2. Harris, not the tallest guy on the mound for the Saints, but probably one of the hardest throwing. And he's got some of the best stuff on the team. Now the 0-2, fouled high in the sky. This one tailing out of play as Gonzalez gave a good chase to it. All the Saints aware that they need a quick inning here as Evan Russell ran all the way from left center field to get to the wall there. So the count remains 0-2. We are now at 7:33 p.m. here in Thousand Oaks, California. Once again, the sunset scheduled for 8 p.m. So 27 minutes remaining until the sun is set. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Tag is applied on Selma. He'll go back to the dugout. It's a 1-2-3 home half of the 8th inning for Hayden Harris and the Saints. And the Saints are down to their final 3 outs. They need 2 runs to keep this ball game alive. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the top half of the 9th inning. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the broadcast home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top half of the 9th inning. Saints are down to their last 3 outs, 10-8 the score in favor of the Santa Barbara Foresters. And the Foresters have brought in their guy who they chose to be their closer here in the championship game, Hunter Brault on the mound. He'll pitch to Thomas Lovano as his first pitch is in the dirt, skips past the glove of Presno, and the count is 1-0. With him coming to the game, it means Trest only went 1 inning. Gave up a hit, gave up no runs, walked none, and struck out 3. So a good outing from Elijah Trest. Hunter Brault looking to do something similar here. As I mentioned, Saints in their final at-bat, timeout called by Thomas Lovano. Brault decides to go through his motion but not release the baseball. These are the three guys you want at the plate for the Saints.
Yeah, and the last time Luvano led off, he led off with a double.
This time he cue balls that one foul down the first base line. It sneaks past the glove of Selma, so the count is 1-1.
Hunter Brault, the new pitcher for the Foresters, has 3 saves this season out of 3 save opportunities, so he's been 100%. Saints are hoping to break that.
Lovano cracks this one into right field. It tails right into the glove of Blake out there, as that is out number 1. And that'll bring up Pete Durkee, the first baseman from Tennessee. One of the 3 Tennessee guys. Stay boy, Evan Russell, he's in the hole right now. So on his 21st birthday, he's in a good position to have a quality at-bat in this game if the Saints can get something going. Regardless, right now it's Durkee at the plate. He's going to be the one that needs to start getting things going, or else it's 2 down for Jason Gonzalez. First pitch to him misses for ball 1. Durkee is 2 for 4 on the day with a single and double to his name. Now the 1-0 to him misses high and outside for ball 2. Once again, this game, winner take all for the CCL Southern California Championship. Now the 2-0, swung on, cracked right center field. Tracking back is Franklin. That one will drop, and it'll 2-hop the wall as Durkee rounds first and is in there with a stand-up 1-out double. And the tying run, Jason Gonzalez comes to the plate. He's already left the ballpark once this evening. If he can manage to repeat that feat, it'll be a tie ball game, and who knows what they will do with the sun. You know, the sunset is imminent at this point. We are 21 minutes away.
This is what you like to see. Summer baseball, championship game. Saints still in it, and you have the right guys you've mentioned on the up to bat as Presno just went on the mound for a quick 2-second chat to Brault.
So Jason Gonzalez, 2 for 4 on the day, home run and a single to his name, 3 RBI total, 2 runs scored. His last at-bat was a strikeout looking. That came when a tying run was standing on second base. Since then, the Foresters added 1 to their run total, and now he watches a breaking ball drop in there for strike 1. Gonzalez, the man from Vanderbilt. Has a national championship under his belt. Has a chance here to start a rally to get a CCL championship under his belt. Lines that one down the right field line. It's tailing and drops foul. He missed an RBI double by maybe 2 feet there as that tailed into the bullpen of the Foresters. So he will have to walk back to the long walk back to the batter's box. And he will have an 0-2 count once he gets back there.
Foresters definitely held their breaths for that one. So now for a little bit they can catch it.
And that's the part of the ballpark he left earlier today, down that right field line. So I had a momentary flash of deja vu. Not quite enough on that one to leave the ballpark, and couldn't quite straighten it out down that right field line. So once again, it's an 0-2 count. Hunter Brault on the mound, looks back, Durkee, and delivers. Chopper in between short and third. That'll squeeze into left field. Coming towards third base and staying there is Durkee as Gonzalez is on board with a 1-out single, and there's runners on the corner for the birthday boy himself, Evan Russell.
Great job by Jason Gonzalez putting the bat on the ball. 0-2 count. You want to make contact, and that's exactly what he did, and put it in the exact right position through third and short, out into the outfield. And now Evan Russell, the birthday boy, has got an opportunity to tack on a run here with Pete Durkee at third base.
The Saints pulling out all the stops, coming in for Nolan Tressler coming in for Thomas McCarthy if he gets to the plate is Nick Pagan, who's going to pinch hit. I imagine that means that Matt Thomas or Jacob Wyeth will come into the game, provided the Saints find a way to extend this one. First pitch to Russell was fouled off out of play. Once again, runners on the corners, one down. Now the 0-1 from Brault. Russell lines this one foul down the right field line, and he's quickly finding himself down 0-2.
And although he's fouled those two first pitches off, he's putting good swings on the ball. Just hasn't made that compact impact that you want to make. So it's all about straightening out and putting the ball in play.
The home plate umpire gets through three new baseballs, throws one out there to Brault. As Russell steps back into the box, 0-2 the count. Brault delivers. Russell takes, and it's just low and outside for ball one. Forster's faithful wanted strike three. Saints faithful applaud the call. Brault, the right-hander, wearing number 25. 6'3", 210, chopper on the ground towards Bellafronto at third. He collects, fires across the diamond in time, and that's out number 2. But on that chopper, Pete Durkee scored, and it's a one-run ball game with 2 down here. Jason Gonzalez standing in scoring possession on second base, and Nick Pagan coming to the plate in his pinch hit appearance here.
Wow, this is a moment right here. Championship game, tying run at second.
This is what
Go ahead.
This is what every little kid dreams about.
Yeah.
A pinch hit opportunity here. Nick Pagan has the chance. Runner in scoring position. First pitch to him. Inside, he has to move out of the way of that one hitting his leg. And the count moves to 1-0. Pagan, usually a first baseman. Now he's pinch hitting for the catcher, Thomas McCarthy. The 1-0 to him, misses high for ball 2.
If you're Pagan, just be patient and find the right pitch. You got a man in scoring position representing the tie run.
6'3", 220, and he holds off on swinging at that one. It finds the strike zone though, so the count moves to 2-1. Pagan is the only true first baseman still on the roster for the Saints right now. We've seen a few exit, leave due to injuries. He hasn't been playing first too much because Pete Durkee, the natural catcher, took over there and has been doing a fantastic job at first base for the Saints. He's the one that came home to score the one run they've got so far in this top half of the 9th inning. They need one more. That one's standing on second base. The 2-1 from Brault, swung on and missed, and Pagan's got a 2-2 count. And the Saints are down to their final strike. Righty versus lefty. The man from Oregon on the mound. The man from Hartford at the plate. The 2-2. Taken for strike 3, and Pagan has some words for the home plate umpire, who does nothing to say back as the Foresters hold on. Pagan strikes out looking. And the Foresters will move on to the California State Championship with a 10-9 victory over the Arroyo Seco Saints. The Saints came all the way back from down 7 runs twice. They were down 7-0, put 2 on the board. Down 9-2. They ended up coming all the way back, putting 9 on the board and losing by a final score of 10-9. And the Santa Barbara Foresters are the California Collegiate League champions.
Back-to-back years.
Back-to-back years.
And man, what a game. I mean, the Saints put up a fight. Down 7 runs. They came back, put themselves in position to tie the ball game, giving themselves a chance to win the ball game. And, I mean, right there at the end, I mean, man in scoring position. The ump makes a call, and it's not really the call you're looking for. And unfortunately, you fall. But, I mean, what a great fight. What a great game this was here in the CCL championship game.
Especially when it didn't look like it was going to be a good game at first. I mean, the Foresters, they scored 9 of their 10 runs in the first 4 innings. As for the Saints, they only got 2 in those first 4 innings, and those 2 came in the top half of the 4th inning. And, you know, the frustration definitely boiled over for the Saints at the plate. Scott getting ejected after that strikeout, and then Pagan getting called for strike 3, looking to end this ball game and the season for the Saints.
Again, if you're a Saints fan, player, coach, especially Coach Milam, you got to be proud of the Saints. Like you guys both mentioned, they put up a huge fight, very unlikely, very hard way to come back, especially being down by 7 twice, and they've done it. So just a good overall. Yes, they may have taken the loss, but a very good overall game overall for the Saints, and an excellent historical season for them as well. The 3rd season in CCL, first trip to the postseason, made it to the CCL championship, and they've they lost to the Foresters, who were not only the reigning champs, but a team that the Saints have constantly struggled throughout the year. Of course, you never want to take a loss, but as a Saint, I wouldn't feel too bad about this.
You can't feel too bad. Like you said, a historic season, the 3rd complete season in the CCL for the Saints. They finished with a record of 21 and 18, including postseason play. And a rough way to end it, but they fought till the very end. As they lose this one 10-9, they finish as the runner-ups in CCL action. And you know what a historic season for the Saints program. But it's that time of night where I have to thank all of you guys for tuning in, listening to us, and throughout the season showing your support for the Arroyo Seco Saints, and for everyone who made this broadcast possible. For Matt Berner, Jack Steele, and Nicolette Rojo, I want to say thank you, and we'll see you next season.